Should I double check? Okay.
Yeah, you can go look.
Don't trust yourself.
I'm 90%. Well, I'll know on my phone in a minute.
We're good.
Okay.
Are we in focus?
Huh?
I was saying, are we in camera?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are good.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Season 1, Episode 8 of Crosscodes. The title of this episode is Yeah, Ghost. You'll notice there are a couple people missing. One person is not here today, and there's one of them is completely unconscious, so no need to be here for that. We'll see what happens. All right, so when we last left, actually I want to make sure I remember to thank the store. We are at the Adventure Society.
No, it's Adventure
Game Society Cafe.
There we go.
Right. They just opened it to the public. You need to come down and check it out. It is next to the Adventure Game Store, which is the owner of this place. And this is the Yellow Room, by the way, that we're playing in, which is sponsored by Yellow Games. Brian has been spectacular with us. We have quite a bit of ability to get around in here, get things set up. This stuff takes a couple of hours in the morning to get going. So, it's really nice of them to let us get in early and all that. So just want to thank them and remind you guys to come and check it out, maybe buy some games, play some games. All right, let's get started. So when we last left, one of the party members, Rafe, was downloaded.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
If someone wants to give a recap, that would be great. It was a crazy week.
I can try my best. So, we originally went up to the space station to contact an agent of the Romanovs to sell the products of our industrial espionage for parts and labor to fix the Shadowhawk.
Shadow Raptor.
Oh, is it the Shadow Raptor?
Apparently.
Well, I must be thinking of the other game.
Shadow Raptor needs parts, and it's a fancy, ancient future ship, so it's expensive.
So after some, and if I'm forgetting anything, feel free to jump in. After some glitz and glamour being awed by Space Vegas, we managed to find our contact who was in I guess you could call it a gender reassignment tank.
Yes.
For lack of a better term. In which we were able to successfully negotiate the exchange of the info. Our sheep, Gregory, or George, I believe I called it.
George. George, yeah. George the sheep.
George the sheep.
Should have been Sean the sheep. We really missed an opportunity there. But...
I missed Noah. For basically parts and labor. To basically, I don't remember the exact details on how much, but I believe it's most, if not everything.
That we need, yeah.
It was everything you needed, plus the labor of getting it done.
After which, we spent the next couple of days in Space Vegas with a creeping sense of paranoia throughout all the thing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact we couldn't figure out who or what was happening. Tailing us, looking at us, reading our thoughts and minds and souls.
Honestly, we didn't try that hard.
We really did.
We were just kind of like, people are watching us.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, let's go have a drink.
We're being watched.
Yeah. We didn't do anything about it.
Do it.
For some reason, in retrospect.
You attempted a lot of perception.
I tried
checks.
some things and it failed. I just decided they were a lot better than me.
Most of them failed, but there were a couple that made it and still didn't quite seem to nail anything.
And then we walked into the meeting with the Romanov contact, or the info drop, and we're like, "This is totally a trap." Yep, probably is gonna be. Yep, and what do you know?
On we go.
To be fair, I thought it was a trap on behalf of the Romanovs.
Yeah,
but so I had a nice conversation about the nature of the soul and all that.
Yeah, you did.
Boots had a unintentional gynoid sexcapades.
Yes.
Right.
Which was very amusing.
With the robot, yeah.
fabulous cash.
So it was kind of more like a masturbation session.
This is
Well,
sounds
I mean, I'll,
that gets into that gets
We
into
don't
the
need to
real
go any further than
philosophical
that.
questions there.
yeah, I'll let Boots address that one when he comes back next week.
Bunch of gambling.
Yep, one winner.
Maybe. I can't help it if I'm really good at blackjack and picking winners in space MMA.
Yep.
Then we went to the meeting. Everything seemed to be going all right, barring the increasing feeling of a trap. We managed to acquire said cred stick.
Yep.
And then in what can only be described as a tactical surprise, our dear companion and friend Wraith was molested by the Endori Chikai and a hired thugs, and had part of his brain removed or
Poured
downloaded.
like an apple.
Oh my gosh.
Like an apple.
Yeah,
Right
really.
back of the
like-
head, yeah.
So now we have him, and now we need to decide our current how to put out this house fire.
Right, because so we're still separated. The doors have been
No,
reopened, right?
we've
I think
been
the Irish-
reunited.
Yeah.
We've reunited. They now know everything, or will soon, thanks to their
Soon.
brain uploading experiments, know everything he knows, which means they'll know everything. I think we're about to get much more pursued once they understand the nature of what we learned from about this ancient ship and the ancient technology that controls the crucibles that control the whole galaxy, that we now have some sort of insight on. Yeah, I guess we can't expect the temple out in the dark to be a safe hideaway now anymore.
No, that's why
No.
we need to move the ship and get it repaired quickly, so we can actually move.
I think the first thing we should do, besides, the first thing we should do is deal with Rafe's
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
injury, but after that, we should probably make sure that cred stick isn't fake.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I
And
wondered about that myself.
a moment later, after you start doing anything, start talking to each other about what to do, and I guess dealing with Rafe, at the end of the hallway, you see Tani. That was the
I was just about to radio her. The security.
yes, head of security, and some security guards with her. And they see you and they start coming down the hall, and behind them is our two paramedics. And I mean, that's unusual. They even knew you were here somehow. And they get down to the hall and they're like, let's get him. We need to get him to med bay. It looks like I can see the blood everywhere already. What happened here? And the paramedics take care of it. He stays here, and the security guards start checking the tubes and stuff.
For reference, Tawny is the Valis, the cat person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The head of security of the station.
Yes.
Just for the viewing public.
And she was friendly with Rafe in particular because of our political opposition to the Dubois. So.
Well, it turns out, speaking to her, I'll say it turns out
That is.
the Dubois were
Nice. Didn't see that.
apparently aware of our location. And they,
How are you aware of our location?
yeah.
This
Says,
is the question we wish to have answered.
Well, there's somebody on our staff that is can sense transactions that are illicit, and she sensed it, didn't know exactly where it was, and then was able to narrow it down eventually. That's how we keep everything on the up and up here, make sure that what happens is we use electronics, but it's more than electronics here. And she felt it. Eventually she told us, and every time that she feels it, it is exactly what she says. She doesn't know exactly what happens, but she knows there's something illicit going on as far as illicit transactions.
Very Minority Report.
Well, they docked with the airlock there.
Who's they?
The Dubois agents.
Yeah, henchmen.
Specifically, in Dori Chiki, the ship was as far, we know the ship is the Scorpion. Registered to Marcus Robertson. I'll give him all the information that we have on that. We actually saw,
I could do a replay video. I can, here you go, just send some video of them coming in and in the back of the head. And we think that technology there, I'll like bring it up on the screen or send it over, however, or describe it. I'll explain it's about memory extraction. They've been experimenting, we think, on that sort of technology.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
indeed.
So he
and Rafe's eyes never close, by the way. They're just like.
And I'll say, did the rest of us hear her interaction with Rafe about the thank you and all of that for your opposition to the due
I
process?
did. I was right there. I think you and Luke's were working on the computer stuff.
I was going to say, because they know about that too now.
Yeah.
Or will.
Are we to be detained?
No, we're going to continue questioning you as you come down for a little bit.
That's reasonable.
We're seeing the video. We're now pulling up feeds. Apparently, I mean, this area has no video, but the maintenance robots have audio, and they capture audio all around them and chemical sensors, so they can detect scent and motion.
Very well. We will acquiesce to your questioning, but we must insist that the process be. We are now on a timetable, and not a favorable one.
Come up to the offices. Let the team do their work.
Do I get any sense that this is illegitimate? Like that she's working with the.
She never seemed illegitimate to you.
Okay.
She never seemed illegitimate. And
It seems like an up and up standard.
You see maintenance crew at the end waiting for the security crew to finish what they're going to do so they can start checking security, make sure there's no holes. There was the punch through the door that has to be repaired, things like that. So they have to check into that. And
Okay.
Please ensure that.
As you're heading up, she asks, "So, why were you down here?"
Well, we were supposed to be. We thought we would be meeting with somebody to exchange some information, but nobody showed up. Well, they showed up.
A private exchange between private consensual exchange between individuals.
And we got attacked.
in the maintenance area of a space station where there's no people.
We didn't pick it. I guess we wouldn't leave. Is that what you're saying? We understand that now. Don't have to rub it in.
You have. I do want to get all the video from your compatriot there, your companion.
Sure. I'll be sure to send that over to you this afternoon once I get time to.
Well, we'll get it while we're up in the office.
All right. And Kelvin is quickly thinking, like, is there anything I don't want them to see?
Probably.
May I make a quick phone call?
Sure.
Contact Fedka.
Okay. And you get an answering person. How may I help you?
Hi, this is Jack Crow. I'm attempting to contact Fedka Radomir.
What is this concerning?
An exchange we were making, and a complication has arisen. If you mention my name, she should know, and would probably want to hear about it.
Can you put on hold for a moment?
We all are. If I recall, we did send the info, right? Once we got the cred stick before we were attacked, isn't that right?
I think we were going to. I don't know if
I don't think you did yet.
Okay.
There's also the map.
How are you, Jack? What's going on?
Sounds like that.
Yeah.
There's a development that I think we need to discuss. Rafe was attacked, we believe, by Dubois agents, and attacked in a very specific way. They may have attacked him mentally. Might know some things he knows.
And Esper?
No, actually physically. They took a section of his brain, we believe.
Where are you?
Down at the heading away from the area where you had specified. Yeah, heading towards the security center of the station.
Are you with Tani?
Yes.
All right, I'll be the security in a little bit.
Okay.
Well, she might be out of the. Or at this point, I think she was transitioning to he.
Yeah.
Might be at the station or out walking around.
Yeah.
We feel there's something that should be mentioned very quickly while we have a moment. Should we move the ship now? It will take them time to extract what information, but we feel the ship should be moved as quickly as possible. Are we in communication range to the Shadow Raptor?
Yeah, I mean, it's always.
So we can tell. Where did we leave it? I don't remember. We left it down on the planet, right? We took a shuttle up.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we just? And did we leave it? Where did we leave it on the planet? Out in the middle of nowhere?
We left it out in the middle of nowhere on the dark side.
Why don't we just tell it to that Rafe is no longer an authorized person for now, until we know
Good
otherwise.
point. Yeah.
And that to move it to just like pick some other location that's X miles away. That again is not the kind of thing that they could find because they can't find it digitally because of stealth technology.
Right.
So just some low-lying overhang sort of place on the dark side.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You know.
Didn't Boots had a remote communication app, didn't he? So
Yeah.
just ask Boots to relay.
And
that sounds good.
when you get to the station, he goes, "I'll go last. It'll take me a little time to get this done."
Okay.
And they bring you in and start talking to you. We'll start with you.
Well,
have the video.
I'll propose that one of them go first, and then I'll just close my eyes and do one
They
of
take
these
you in.
for a minute or two and telepathically communicate with my drone, just like quickly.
So tell me what
making
happened.
sure-
Delete this. Delete this.
This is
And why were you there?
the part where I do name, rank, and serial number.
I know who you are.
No, I'm saying that we were there to we had contacted a Romanov agent to exchange some pertinent information on a private legal basis.
You say private and legal or illegal?
Private. I'm gonna say no. On a private basis.
It's a really unusual way of saying the information.
It is.
How do you know it's legal? Do you have a contract or something?
Yes. Tis verbal.
So what was the information you were exchanging?
Relevant information towards it about the Dubois and their information and experiments.
So why couldn't you have done this in the lounge or in
We felt
a room like that? You had staterooms.
1, we did not choose the time or meeting place. 2, we felt the information was too important to be left out for any possibility. We have no doubt that your security is top notch. However, we did not wish to take any chances. You were an unknown. Your security and the station were an unknown factor. We know what we were capable of. To our credit, the exchange did go down as best we could. It was afterwards that when the incident occurred.
And she keeps you in and keeps talking to you. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna go in circles with her as much as you can.
Basically, name, rank, and serial.
While you're there, Fedka arrives, and he looks different. He cut his hair, and he's got a little bit of growth, like facial growth now, and it's kind of like interesting, like the change, how dramatic it is.
In just a few days, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll greet him and fill
So
him in.
where's Tani?
I believe she's questioning Soren.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the security people comes over and says, you can't be speaking to them right now. Are you sure? I can't be speaking to them? Hold on. And she texts something to someone. And the security guard gets a call. And they say, your lawyer will be here in a few minutes.
So while I'm just standing there silently, I'm going to like message him, I guess, Fedka. So it's a silent telepathic communication. I'll be like, and I'll just give the lowdown in 2 or 3 messages. Like, these are the experiments that they were doing with the sheep. So that they can do this memory extraction. That's what they did on Rafe. We received a memory stick, but we haven't been able to check it yet. And once we check it, we'll provide you the information as we promised. But we're worried about how they knew where to meet, because so far, as far as we know, only you and us knew about that.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that too. I'm concerned about Rafe also. It's the body can be regrown relatively easily in a few spots in the galaxy, but the mind is another thing altogether. Where is he? I assume he was taking the medical facility. I'll have to go see him after. I'm sure it was Taylor that felt this. I'm sure it was Taylor that felt this.
Oh,
Taylor Mailer. This is the
Yeah.
Oh, so Taylor Mailer is the one who has the ability to do the. Oh, and so then again, so is he saying that out loud, or is this in a? And I'll say, so he's the one, or Taylor is the one that can sense illicit activity.
Yeah. She keeps this place on the up and up.
That is
It's too much risk not to here.
Understandable. And were you concerned that would our exchange would qualify?
I didn't think it would.
Well, it's not clear to me that she was sensing our exchange or the attack.
It might have been the exchange that preceded the attack. That's my suspicion.
Oh, perhaps the what do you call it? The rat in your organization.
Right. In an organization, I don't know if it's mine.
Well, you're looking at ours. I don't think it's any of us.
Right, but it didn't necessarily have to be either one of our organizations. There are ways to get information that are a little more distant.
Well, they will soon know what he knew, and that means that the information we want to provide you has a timeline. So
yeah, and you come out. Soren is brought out.
Can we check the cred stick just by like trying to deposit it or something
Yeah.
while we're waiting? Do you want to do? Because I think you had it.
Yeah. Well, does it have an amount on it at least?
No, it has letters.
Letters. Oh,
Yes.
like letters of
credit,
I gotcha.
allowing you to get the things that you need.
And they
And
seem
bounce
legit.
Looks good. Yeah.
So do we have to go to the Tsar or whatever to get them, or
No, they're letters from the Tsar. Not the Tsar, from
the Romanovs?
Vanya.
So we can get them here.
It's the Romanov company.
Okay.
They're actually not Romanov names.
Oh,
They're
just
forgot their
Russian,
names.
like Fedkas.
Yeah, well, like Fedka's not a Romanov. I forgot the name. Of Vanya. And you check and it's all letters that look like they are the equivalent of verified and legal, and they're usable in lots of places wherever you. Apparently, you can just show these to the right people, and they'll be like, okay,
Cool.
you know it's
I
covered.
tell you, it looks good.
You come out, take you in, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Come with me, Jack.
I think I might want to wait a second. I believe my attorney's on the way.
Really? And then a guy walks in. You can't talk to them, Tani.
Nice.
We would have liked an attorney.
That's not true. I can talk to them with you. So you come in too. Let's go.
Fair enough.
We gave them nothing. Nothing that they already knew.
They bring you into the room. All right, Jack, what happened?
Your security measures were inadequate. We were attacked.
Would you like to elaborate on the attack, on why it happened, how it happened, who did it, if you know who did it?
Well, I did give you that information. That was someone we had encountered before, and I'll give that information.
And who else was there with this Indore Chiki that you said?
3 apparently human. What did I see? 2.
They were humans.
3 humans.
Yeah.
Appeared to be male. All in evac suits. They operated with pretty military precision. Had a device able to close the irising mechanism.
Yeah.
And,
Maintenance is really mad about that.
yeah, they didn't have any. They came prepared for what the situation was, and then they took a chunk of Rafe's head and left him there.
So Indore did this?
Who was the one who actually chunked him?
Some other person you didn't
Yeah,
know?
one of
Like a
the
medical
others.
person, didn't they, with
Yeah,
them?
one of the they did have somebody who looked like
Yeah.
they had some medical apparatus. That was the one who took the core. No, and Dory was just there watching the event.
So you're saying that they could take his memory or his mind or something?
We believe so.
You know that doesn't exist.
Well, just because you don't know of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
We'll look into it, but as far as we know, that doesn't exist. If it does, it's new.
I'm not in the room. Sorry. I'm assuming you just brought him in, right?
Yeah. And the lawyer. And the lawyer kind of guides you to keep it,
Yeah.
minimal.
I mean, that's what we think, but they definitely took a piece of his skull and left him alive.
Remember, they cannot put sharp objects under your fingernails. You will be fine.
Why were you in that area?
We wish to exchange some information.
So what were you exchanging?
Information.
And the lawyer whispers in your ear. You don't have to say what the information is.
No.
What were you getting for this information? What was
Valuable consideration.
And the lawyer says you don't need to go there.
Oh,
It's private. It's a private matter
Okay.
at this moment.
On the advice of my attorney, I don't think we need to go further
And
into this.
and she finishes up trying to get any more information. Brings you out. They take Boots next.
That's fine.
Come
I have
back
time
out.
to rub and scrub.
Boots spills all because he's like a kid. He doesn't.
I would hope the lawyer would temper his
The
ability.
lawyer would totally be all over
bit,
Boots.
yeah.
They
You're
come
getting
and
nothing out of me.
They come and
Papa.
get you.
Yeah, that's
I assume they get nothing else.
Yeah, I'll say here's what I'll say. Well, excuse me for just a moment. Before I send you this video, let me run it by my attorney.
And the attorney says, well, the video from this point to that point, you do need to give them that because that is pertinent to the investigation in this attack. Anything before that doesn't need to be.
I'll do what the attorney says.
Right.
I'll just it's just Kel is like, what do I say? Okay, wait, that. What do I say? Okay, that.
And he sits and watches. She sits and watches the video with you. So who is that? And that's Indore.
Yeah.
And then those are the 3 security guards. And who's that one in the middle? And that's the medical one.
Right.
Do you know who that is?
I don't think we did we?
No.
And am I right in thinking we first encountered Indore Chiki down at the salvage, right? The salvage
Yes.
dispute.
Yeah,
So I'll communicate that. Like we've encountered this person before. We had that boat. We made a claim. Dubois tried to claim it illegally. They sent them. They sent Chiki to harass us.
Well, I don't know if it's illegal or not. That's for the courts down on Freesis to determine.
Threatening us is not nice. I have video of that too.
Well,
if you'd like,
regardless, they can't do that for it.
Well, fair. I'm just telling you. There's history.
All right. And you catch a glimpse of the ship through like one of the windows, and they go, and you know that ship you said.
Yeah, we believe it's.
What's the ship?
Scorpion.
I'll
Marcus
check into
Robertson.
that. Marcus Robertson. That's the owner or the pilot or.
Allegedly registered to, and I'll say if you want. And I can mention 1 or 2 of the locations right? Like, well, I believe Jack has his information, but it was ported at blah blah blah, and I'll name the names of the specific ports we went because we hunted it down, like 2 or 3 bays, loading bays, or landing whatever's docks.
And she lets you guys leave, and Fed is like, Tani, let them go. Grow some balls.
Well, we
It's
got
ironic
a tank for
humor.
that. We got a tank for that.
You know they didn't do anything. And he goes, well, let's talk about that. Come on in, Fedka. Apparently you were the one exchanging information, so she goes, all right, come on in. She tells the lawyer. They go in for a little bit. They're in for maybe half an hour. They come out. And Tony goes, you're free to leave. You can't leave the system at the moment.
The crucible's down, right?
Yeah. Period.
Wasn't planning on it.
It was not high on our priority list.
So after we step out, and Kel's like looks at Fedka like, so what?
It's all right. You'll be fine.
All right.
The video is all the evidence they really needed. They know what they're looking at now. Tani's going to be communicating downstairs now with them, with the marshals probably. It'll become a system issue because if the ship came from Freesis, it's now cross-jurisdictional, so the marshals will be involved.
All right. So I see. All right.
And nobody wants to be on the bad side of the marshals.
We might want to discuss somewhere a little more private, if there is such a place on this station.
We'd also like to complete our side of the exchange.
Yeah.
I assume you want that.
And Fedka, like, we need to leave. Let's go to my stateroom, and we'll finish what we're doing here.
Okay.
And she takes you to her room. There's 2 guards outside the room. She had a guard outside the security office too, plus the lawyer. She dismisses the lawyer. Doesn't need.
Those are handy. I need to bring one of those with me next time I
those
get
are
Lawyers, sure, they're handy.
detained.
We do not trust them.
We don't
far
have
as
them
we
on
It's a
can
good
note.
instinct.
As far as we
Why?
can throw them, we can throw them pretty far.
They'll negotiate you right into prison.
Oh, well, that seems counter to the purpose of hiring one.
Yeah, but you'll get less prison time. Still counterintuitive to the point of them.
I see.
So
No.
you get to her room and there's security guards outside the door. You go in and it's huge. Like,
Yeah.
it's a massive space for a space station stateroom. And it's a big suite. Like, it's got everything. And it's fancy and expensive and tasteful. All right, let me get a drive ready for you. I don't want this going over Wi-Fi. She gives you a drive and boots, plugs it in, and feeds the information that you guys choose to feed.
Right.
How are you going to get me the sheep?
Well, I suppose we could. It's down on the planet. So
Yeah, if you could send someone with us to pick it up, I guess.
Well, I mean, maybe we should. Yeah, maybe we should agree to meet somewhere because I don't want to bring them to.
You'll
ship,
forgive
right?
us for our caution.
I'd actually rather you deliver it to Czar.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I'd rather it not even make it to the station here.
That's
Do
okay.
we don't have the capacity to fly there on our ship.
Sure you do. You just have to wear space
We just
suits.
gotta wear suits.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to take the ship out there anyway to do stuff.
To get it fixed.
Yeah.
All right. So be
Yeah,
it.
that sounds okay.
Please send us the coordinates of where you would like
Of
us
the
to-
moon?
The specific point on the moon.
Ah,
No, we're just gonna drop it in orbit and take off.
right.
It burns up.
You'll forgive us if we would like to examine them ahead of time. Our recent encounter has left us
And there's a
paranoid.
like a doorbell ring,
Mhm.
and she goes to the door, and one of the security guards whispers something to her.
Can I make a
Well, let him in.
No.
She just opens the door, and there's a guy that walks in that on his face you can see real concern, and she's like, Neil, this is pretty rare. You come out of your silence.
That was going to be visit number 2, Space Rupert Murdoch.
Oh,
No,
right.
that's not.
Oh, it's
that's
not that
who it is.
one?
Nope.
Oh, that's who I wanted to see.
No. Gentlemen, this
Who's Neil?
is Neil God. Godde. He's not really a god. So you know.
Oh God.
He's the station director.
Oh.
Oh, kneel before God.
And he's nervous. Like I saw the video. I can't believe this would happen on my station. I want to apologize for the station. I've never had anything like this happen here.
That's what you get when the Dubois do business here.
Well, the Dubois don't normally do business here. I don't even know if there's a Dubois on the station. Actually, I know there's not one on the station right now, and there wasn't one in the last few days. We've been looking into that. So somehow they got information from outside, but I promise you, Tani will get to the bottom of all this, and it will happen quickly. Your rooms and your expenses are comped for the time that you need to be here. Please work with Tani to help make sure that this thing gets resolved quickly and quietly. I have some documents I'd like you to sign to make sure that everything is comped correctly.
NDAs.
And he puts down NDAs.
I look at FedCat. Think, I don't suppose you could call that lawyer back to review this. I don't know how to read.
They're
this.
not signing that.
Yeah.
We would.
You know how to take care of this? Take care of it right, and they won't talk. But they're not going to be legally bound to not talk, and then you don't fulfill the needs.
You'll forgive.
I mean, they were communicating with somebody on your goddamn station.
You'll forgive me if we do not trust the lawyers speak.
Okay. Sorry, Mr.
Well,
God.
regardless, your things are comped. Please, if you can keep it quiet until we at least figure out what happened.
Oh, that would probably.
Calvin is actually currently ordering room service.
Rest assured, our companions and I, we do not intend to speak of this at any length until such point we didn't deem it necessary.
All right.
But might be careful with space Rupert Murdoch then.
Yeah, well.
Well, that's why I said deem it necessary.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, we really
We
need
won't
that.
talk about it until we talk about it.
And Neil takes Fedka aside and talks to her for a few moments, and then heads out. It was really nice meeting all of you. I'm very sorry that this happened on my watch.
Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
We appreciated it as well. We are sorry about the circumstances.
And he's got a computer part wrapped around his neck that seems to be embedded in.
Robot. Cool.
And she sees him out. Don't worry about him. Although I gotta say, I haven't seen him out and about in about 2 years. He manages from a distance, like from his room for the most part. He's brilliant, but whatever that was, that shook him up. Good, he needed a little shake up.
I guess having a member of the Gray family be attacked and possibly permanently brain damaged on your watch is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing he says, we need to shut down all these maintenance areas to staff and make it harder to get in them. But he's very worried about Rafe too. So he's making sure that he gets the best medical that he can get, and he said they're probably gonna have to transfer him down to the planet though to get better
really?
medical. They don't really have enough of what they need here to really handle it.
Good. See that he gets the help that he can be given.
We don't really have a sense of how permanent that is, do we, right now?
No.
Well, we know how messed up Tusk Jr.
Yeah,
was
Tusk Jr.
afterwards.
I got the impression that Tusk Jr. was messed up in part because they brainwashed him too, right? They put those kill commands in there.
Yeah.
That was also probably a more careful and slow procedure.
Oh yeah.
They weren't.
They took their time with
This
it.
was a rush hour. This was a carry out order.
Yeah.
This was a chop job.
They don't usually leave the blood stains all over the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
They're not in quite as much of a rush.
Okay.
So she gets the information. Says, "All right, well, you're halfway through your agreement. I'm not putting a time pressure on you. I know you have things you need to do. I do need to get the sheet before you get your repairs done, but not necessarily before you get your materials. You get your materials from Czar, and then you'll take those out to the Deep Wine. You'll be meeting someone out there named Corey Good, who will handle the repair and the maintenance work. And you know that name, right?
Yeah. Like, oh.
Okay, we can do that.
Yes, we will endeavor to see that this transaction is concluded speedily. After all, we believe that if the Dubois are willing to go to such lengths so quickly, then perhaps one of the safer places would be in off-planet on Romanov territory, so to speak, for the time being.
Yeah. It would be.
It would.
Well,
You need to get off planet quickly. I know you were saying you were going to go down there again or something, so I would do it quick and get out.
well, and just to express something in the hypothetical, if anyone were to plan any kind of military strikes against any facilities on the planet side, we were curious about the ability of something they were working on to basically dump the entire solar system into a black hole. That's not the information.
That's the information that's on my drive, right?
Yeah, I think we ended up sharing that information.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
That
we
part?
kind of talked about it, and I think, am I right? And we decided to go ahead and
I thought we hadn't shared like much of that.
I think we shared about as much as you've said.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
did we share all of it? Because remember, we thought we decided. Sorry, this is like a memory.
Yeah, no, we were trying to. We shared the sheep and the memory
Yeah,
stuff.
The sheep and
Are you
everything we
hungry?
had on it.
Are you hungry?
Oh, fed. Yeah.
We
All right,
could
I'll
eat
get
them.
some food. I'll leave you guys alone for a little bit.
So then, yeah, Calvin leans in and just
Okay,
communicating
yeah.
telepathically for a moment.
Is that a two-way street or a one-way?
It is actually because it's like the message.
Okay.
You
ability,
can't
so-
initiate it, but you can respond.
Yeah, so I say
telepathically.
something and you can respond back telepathically. And of course, I'd have to go back and forth if we wanted to have a little powwow. But my memory is that we said that they found Dubois found this on the planet. So it's something that if we provided some information to the Romanovs about it, we might not be providing something that they didn't already at least have some awareness of.
Right.
And the problem, of course, is that what the Dubois know about it isn't actually correct, right? Because
Right.
they're not handling it properly. And it's less of knowing about it than actually possessing it that's dangerous. So
Yeah.
we thought it was okay to share that info with Romanovs, or am I wrong?
I think it's all right. We know we're sharing the sheep.
Yeah.
The sheep is a sheep, and all relevant info to that is a given. It's the.
The Sorium D part that kind of worried me. I
Yeah.
didn't.
I think you were right.
I mean, we don't have to if you don't think it's safe. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we have to share some now because if they do like military strike, I mean, it took a blaster hit without exploding.
Right. But if it
Natural 20.
if they
Oh,
drop
that
a
was the
bomb
best.
on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
then-
that would be.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah,
we,
but,
we
I
should
mean-
probably mention.
I think we decided not to share the actual details of what the ship actually is. We just said it was a salvage claim that we were
Yeah.
making. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I think we only have a limited amount. Like we have the data that we took, which is like fragments of data from the experiments, and we know more or less it's a Sorium D reactor that they're not quite doing right. That may or may not be making a giant computer brain.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's a danger in sharing that information.
I think it might be a danger and not if they actually do attack it. Like
Yeah, so-
cut power and now there's a black hole roaming around.
Yeah, we share the info and I mean, even if we share more than we did, then I think that earns us some brownie points in the future if we need a bargain.
And some food is brought out.
All right.
There's
Well,
olives and antipasto with meats and things you've never seen or had.
and not made of green cake.
Nothing. There's no green cake at all.
Oh,
It's like
Yeah.
actually it's so
very
weird.
unmushy. What is that?
Yeah.
Come on.
You're not even trying to eat some of it.
Oh, what is
Poking the olive. Like, what do you do with that? It looks like an eyeball.
I kind of wanted the Greek. I missed it.
So, are you ready to transfer the information?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she slides the drive back over to Boots. I can see you're conflicted about what to share.
A tad.
Some of the information
resolve
is
it?
frightening, but yeah, I think we did.
We have resolved it, and we think that the transaction will be satisfactory to all parties.
I think you'll be shocked and amazed. Maybe not.
please put in the caveat that it would be a very bad idea to bomb said sites.
Yeah, so we're not.
Bomb said sites. I don't run a military operation.
You do not, but your employers do have the capacity for such.
Sure, but you know,
We only had-
attacking Freesis would only bring
Trouble.
all kinds of hellish trouble for us.
We feel it is better to add the caveat than not.
Yeah.
And she collects the information. You guys finish eating, and she's like, when you get to Czar, there's only one station that you'll need to go to, which is I forgot the name of it. Give me 1 second.
Station Trident?
No,
I got the station.
There.
It's not in any of the handy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Here's the station map. It says no, it doesn't list the station. Romanoff base is all it says.
Yeah, Romanoff base. That's it. That's a moon base. It's the moon base.
Around the gas giant.
Yeah.
No space station. What's a moon?
Okay. Yeah, Romanov Station. And when you get there, you'll show the letters that I gave you, and they will give you access to all the material that's listed. The material will be ready when you arrive. I would not recommend staying and spending a long time there. They're very private, the Sokolovs.
We would imagine so.
Very
One
well.
does not simply buy a moon to have as a public display, unless that is its intention.
Yeah, well, I don't want to spend much time there either if they don't want us there.
Well, good luck and good fortune.
Thank you.
We could use some. Thank you.
And she walks you out.
So maybe check in with Rafe, make sure Rafe's okay.
Yeah, I want
Or
to see.
the same, not okay precisely.
Yeah, you get to the medical facility and they're already packing them up to move them. They got a medical shuttle about to go down.
Is his condition stable at least?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing foreign found in the wound?
No. Although there's injuries to his spine at the base of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
So that will have to be repaired.
Any prognosis?
Give it to us straight
Well,
up.
at the moment he's in a coma. His brain activity is minimal. It's enough to sustain him, but that's about it. He's, basically catatonic, and we don't understand why or how at the moment. That's why we need to get him downstairs. They've got better facilities to work on this kind of stuff.
I'm gonna thank the medical person, and then to you guys say,
Please see.
maybe we should send a message to the Romanovs, to Fedka, and ask him once they've looked over the sheep data, that if they could send whatever might be helpful to the medical
That's a good idea,
people.
It would not be a bad idea.
I mean, I have some medical experience, but not enough to know what there would help them repair or heal his damaged brain.
Well, the shuttle's leaving in an hour. You guys coming or are you staying?
We are leaving.
Yeah.
We are leaving.
Get down there, get this.
Yeah.
We would also like to.
Hour, huh?
We would also like to acquire more ordnance. No doubt, our encounters with the Dubois will be less than pleasant from here this point on.
Yeah, and Kellerin is going and buys a big one of those big giant rucksacks and just room service full of it.
Okay.
Dude, how many of the soaps do you steal?
Well, I need a rope for each of us.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
This lamp needs this lamp.
It might be dark. I mean,
And you pack up all this food. Stuff.
Whatever,
I need the copper
So
wiring out of the
cheap.
walls.
Well, they said
Well, you
it was
can't take that.
all comped,
yeah.
Maybe the cushy robe goes, but
Stay away from the minibar.
He's emptying the mini bar. There's nothing gonna be left. He may even take the ice.
That's right. Yeah. I've got my mag seal jars. You never know when you'll need a cocktail out in the desert.
So when we're finally at home, do you think it'd be worth it to try and talk to, what was Space Trooper Murdoch's name?
It was Cliff Mitchell.
Cliff Mitchell. Do you think it would be worthwhile to talk to Cliff Mitchell and try and put him on the Dubois case with what information we have that could be more publicly disseminated?
As I say, we did just promise the director of the station not to let it be known that.
Yeah, because he's worried about getting his pantsuit off, and nobody wants to come here again because they think they're going to get their head cord like an apple.
Well,
I'm more concerned about giving the Dubois a hard time.
do you think Space Trooper Murdoch and Cliff Mitchell could be better at that than the Roman? I would.
I don't know.
They are not necessarily separate fronts.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
We think we should do, that is not a bad idea, but we think we should focus on other aspects and make that a secondary objective. In time, no doubt, despite the station director's efforts, such news will filter out. Perhaps we get our hand on it first, but I think we have other priorities at the moment.
We could certainly share a bunch of negative information about the Dubois that happened on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Video of them hassling us at the salvage, even if we want information about them taking
Eddie in the Scorpion, which subsequently was here. I think that's worth it too.
Yes, if we recall, we did say we have a discussion about giving them info up to the point of infiltration of the facility to clear our help sway our image in the Scrapper Rebellion. So something to do once we have made it dirt side.
And when you, on your way down, you get a call from Tani, and she asks you, when you were down there, did you see any robots pass you by in those halls?
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess. Kel, is this to all of us or?
Yeah. So I mean, she's talking to you.
Say, well, if you're asking us this question, that means you weren't sure. You didn't know, which means that wasn't your robot. Is that right? Or? Oh,
no, it was our robot, but there was apparently some kind of a hack into the robotics maintenance systems.
How they knew.
And for multiple days, not just at that moment.
They're monitoring the station through that network of robots. I see. Frustrating. All right. Well, there's Dubois. Does it seem like anybody? There's no way we could tell, but I guess there's no. How confident do we feel like we're not being watched on this shuttle right now?
Let's make a perception check.
Yeah,
How creepy do we feel?
Paranoid.
I just want more guns.
The steward comes by and asks if we want like drinks.
There's none of that. Yeah. This is a medical ship. You're like strapped in and stuff. And they're like, there's a medical area in the middle where the paramedics are
dealing with Rafe.
Like dealing with Rafe, and you guys are just on seats that are facing into the middle, like you're on an ambulance.
Oh, okay.
We would like some more ordnance.
Well, okay, we could probably pick that up down in on the planet. I don't know much about that.
And you arrive at Mark at a hospital. You land on the hospital grounds. This is as far as we go. We don't go to the spaceport, so you'll have to catch a ride to where you need to get to from here if you're not going in with us.
I guess we should say goodbye to Rafe. Bye, Rafe.
Please look after our comrade as best you can.
Well, the doctors will need information about how to get in touch with you.
Sure, Boots has a burner.
All his information, his family. Interesting, you don't really know his family.
You don't. You just know that they're wealthy and powerful.
Yeah. And you get, as you're getting off the shuttle, you see this guy that looks like.
I got one request too when we leave.
like that.
I was gonna say, could I
Standing
have Rafe's,
outside the ship,
could I take Rafe's phone so that we can get that guy's phone number?
and
Maybe I
he's
don't
standing
need
outside
him.
waiting for Rafe to come out. My friends, I see. I've seen you in photos only and video. I'm Odessa. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, so you are the famed Odessa. It is nice to meet you.
Sorry it's under such circumstances. Have you heard?
I've heard, and I saw the video that Tani had of the attack.
News travels very fast.
I'll make sure that the information about this gets to his nearest family, which are not that near, and make sure that he gets the best medical care here that can be done. I do have one question: is your salvage protected?
We hope so.
Legally, physically, legally or physically?
Oh, it'll be protected legally. The court fight to protect that will go on for years. I'll make sure of that. If nothing else, I'll wear them down.
Physically, that's why we're here now, to go secure it further.
Okay.
We intend to ensure that it operates at optimal capacity.
Is there anything that I need to know about that
Yes.
happened in the Dubois facility that you went to?
We'd wager a fair few things.
Would you like to come with us?
No.
Well, let's see now. Just to recap, Kelrin is not looking around like it's just the four of us, right? Basically,
This isn't a very
Rafe,
private location.
If Rafe trusts in, then we will trust it.
And Rafe, to recap as well, Rafe told Odessa that we discovered the ship, the nature of the ship as well, right?
A little bit, not in detail.
And the sheep situation was discussed, or no?
I don't think that was ever.
No.
Well, let's suffice it to say they were doing all kinds of
Less than ethical research.
yeah, illegal, unethical, and dangerous research at a facility to the northeast of Mark, near the lake.
When you say unethical, some things are unethical that are not illegal. Without
this
knowing
is
better.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Although some portions of it probably aren't illegal just because it's novel. They're
well, clearly doing it without the people's will or consent is going to be illegal. They take stealing memories out of people's brains and learning how to stick them into other brains to harvest the memories through genetic manipulation. And I don't know. I mean, Kelrin will talk like a scientist for about 10 seconds to describe very briefly what's going on. But the short version, I don't want to get into detail because I honestly am a little, the player, and maybe Kelrin too, I'm a little unclear on. We've told lots of this quite provocative and inflammatory information to 3 or 4 people, and I get the impression that many of them think they have an exclusive access to this info, and I'm not sure. Did we promise the Romanovs not to tell anyone else? I don't think we did.
No.
And we didn't promise. So it's I don't see the harm of letting this information get into the hands of powerful people because it will activate them to oppose the Dubois. Yeah. And just knowing that the Dubois are doing shady crap with sheep doesn't weaponize that technology in other people's hands. So I think it's okay to share this info. See, this is how I feel about the Thorium-D too. I can imagine us having this conversation at some point. Yeah. Because it's kind of important.
We would, Soren thinks that the conversation about the Thorium-D would best be kept slightly more on the down low.
Than the sheep.
much more. Yeah.
Because, at least with the Romanovs can act on that information and either take measures against it, like infiltrating a facility with a group of less than scrupulous individuals who specialize in mercenary operations. Like us.
That's the thing. That's what we did.
Oh, wait.
But also, the other thing is, if you told everyone, hey, there is a possibility of a black hole forming right under your feet to swallow the Earth, swallow your planet, you might get mad at the person who is possibly poking the black hole with a stick. But you're also going to be very frightened about the fact that there is someone who's poking a black hole with a stick.
Right. So I guess we could just say we could talk about the sheep. So Kelvin will talk about the sheep and they're doing some dangerous energy experiments that could, to try to develop power supply for some super powered processing center, but the problem is that the technology is very dangerous. It could backfire.
Horribly.
Endanger the planet.
Horribly.
I'll look into that.
We also do not wish to share too much for your safety. You have seen what they have done to.
I'm already not safe.
This knowledge will possibly make you even less safe than you already are.
So, I mean,
I'll make sure that Rafe gets in. You should get out to your salvage and make sure that it's safe. We'll be in contact, and he sends you over from his wristband his contact information.
Thank you.
well, thank you.
Please see that Rafe is looked after.
But I mean, for your own safety, for the safety of his family, you should probably assume that almost anything he knew was now in the hands of Du Bois.
That's concerning.
Yes.
We weren't doing anything that was illegal or unethical. I'm not concerned about it in some regards. I'm more concerned that it could turn into more risky behavior. Thank you.
Knowledge is a dangerous weapon.
And I'll take it from here. And he goes in with Rafe and the paramedics. I mean, you guys were walking with him anyway. And at the doors, he continues in.
We recommend we secure the ship. From there, we would like to secure more armaments, but that is a lower on the priority list.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming we're at the hospital.
That also requires money.
Yeah.
I got some of that. I can get
You,
more.
yeah, right?
Yeah,
you do. I've got 35 cuboids.
Yeah, you know how to get money now.
Sucks to be
You can
poor.
Fortunately.
Until that stops working.
Yeah.
Plebeians.
So I can maybe afford the space Uber over to where we can get a shuttle to get out to where we need to get.
Soren pats his pockets. We are a little short right now.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Some alligator arms going on here. Can we split the space cab four ways? We are a little short right now. Our assets are tied up.
Yeah, you're an asset. All right.
About how much would it cost to rent a shuttle, such as I would have flown normally?
Probably around 80 or 100 cubiles.
All eyes on our loaded friend here. Yeah, I think.
Do I have blood on my face?
You big disgrace.
You've got green in your pocket, and I think we might need some of that.
Very well. If it is for the good of the group, we will, however, need reimbursement in writing. We are no fool.
All right, so
There you
Kelvin
go.
pulls out a piece of paper, writes the word
I
reimbursement,
owe you.
and hands
There
it
you
over.
go.
There you go. Reimbursement.
I
Right.
owe you.
Hand over.
Aren't you all protecting each other's asset?
I would have thought so.
Covering our assets in there.
We are, but it still helps to, even if you are in a group, to have a divested private interest.
And you have to get the ship because you're the only pilot here. You have a pilot's license, and they will only rent it to you.
Yeah. You don't want me driving that.
No.
So,
We can technically drive, but we don't have a license.
So you
I don't
acquire a ship, a cheap shuttle, a small one, a 4-person shuttle. You have to go over the gray, and you know exactly where it is. So you're really over on that side. You're going almost blind. There's no, I mean, it's all censored at that point.
okay.
So you get out there, and when you arrive, the ship is where it was supposed to be. What do you do with this ship?
Oh, right. So one of us is gonna. Can you put it on autopilot return?
Yeah.
But let's not put it on autopilot return. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter, you're leaving too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They can come here and find your fuel residue.
yeah.
That's it.
So,
take
Set
the
it,
scenic
yeah,
route.
basically just set it to go straight back and
Okay.
off we go.
I assume we had Boots scan it for
It's not been touched.
illicit bugs and all that.
Yeah,
sort of
okay.
thing. All right. Well then.
And you get into your ship, into the Shadow Raptor.
So
Shadow
off
Raptor.
to
And where are you going?
Czar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Czar.
you're going straight.
So
We all
Is there
We
anywhere
would-
else we would go?
we would like to
No.
go to Ported to acquire weapons.
not until this ship is fully space worthy. Yeah, I
It's
would
not-
prefer not.
Could we get those out in the deep winds too?
Yes,
We probably
Probably.
absolutely.
Soren's eyes light up.
More likely. than-
Indeed.
Okay.
Soren's eyes light up at that idea, and there is probably heavier hordes in the deep wine.
There you go.
And you give it its first space test
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Make sure we've got enough
from a
We're all-
spacesuit.
EVA
We're all
suits.
suited up. Yeah.
Did we acquire any other? No, we didn't. We still got the forearm, the hanging
Yeah.
arms.
I just tied them
Well,
in
I
a
have,
bow on my
I have an
front.
EVA. I've got my own EVA suit. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
We need our own suit.
No,
we
I
feel
don't.
very silly.
I
as
don't
he
have an
ties
EVA
arms
suit.
up.
No. I put the extra ones over my shoulder like a cardigan, or something. Tied them.
We feel very silly as he says
You
he
can
ties
tie
his
him like
arms.
this, like it's choking you.
Yeah.
We will have to acquire a new suit,
But in the meantime, this will keep you alive.
It will.
preferably one with thermal armor padding.
And you travel, and you need to. It's more than a day, so you need to probably rest, eat. What do you eat? Green cake or the good food?
Well, I brought that for a reason. I've got.
Soren goes for green cake.
I pull out here's a bunch of little patisseries.
Oh,
and,
there, yeah, these might spoil.
Here's the
Try these.
remuneration for the cab ride.
There you go, yeah.
Tiny little coffees and all sorts of. And
Soren,
then, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, Soren bites into the green cake. Tastes like rations.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I'll do more. I'll spend the day snacking and doing research, hooking up. Still working on that. We've got the original core that we took out of the old vessel that had the purge command and all that. And then there's the information we've gotten from the ancient vessel.
One thing you notice is that the moon in your system is not called Zar. It's called Vagris.
Old.
And then while you're flying, it changes.
It's slowly updated.
To Czar?
Yes, to Zar.
Oh, nice.
I do want to.
Agris.
Soren wants to do something. He wants to do a systems check on all the weapons, the shipboard weapons.
One weapon.
One weapon.
And it's really used for destroying asteroids, things like that.
We will have to look into upgrading this.
It has hard points, but is not built with, there's no weaponry in it.
Is it, from what I can see, basic knowledge of shipborne life and whatnot? Can there possibly be additions added on at some
Yes.
point? Okay, so
Yeah,
there is
hard,
room for
it has
that.
hard points for that.
Okay, good.
There are places where you can build in things like that.
We will
It
have
takes
to
money.
Yeah. When we acquire more money, we will have to see about adding
How do I
rail
get some
cannons
money?
here and here.
Yeah. We just win the space lottery.
Oh, they have that? I need to win
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We will go purchase our ticket.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Our numbers are 1479.
You're
This everyone plays their own birthday, right?
So about a day and a half later, you arrive at Zar. No incidences in between. And when you're coming in, you realize no one is communicating with you about where to dock or anything like that.
We are stealthed.
Right. How do we do
That's
this?
fun.
You know, we should.
I'll just ask for docking coordinates. Let them be surprised when we actually arrive.
I was wondering about this. I thought about this earlier and then I forgot. Unfortunately, maybe we should have brought along a
Beacon.
or a tiny shuttle that we can launch out of the ship so that they all of a sudden we just appear on their scopes and they're like, "What? Where'd that
Wait,
guy come
what?
from?"
Mhm.
And then we put in our little go kart, but we didn't do that.
You know that you can turn on a transponder and it will look like a ship.
Okay. I'll do
But
that.
you have to give it names and there's no numbers assigned. So it's not officially in system yet, which will just confuse them and they'll have to go looking for records probably to try and find the information. It does have numbers.
The Scorpion.
The Scorpion. You're all under arrest.
Registered.
Not the one right now.
Yeah, not at the.
Raphael Gray.
You'll never take me in one piece.
Yeah, not at the Romanovs. No.
So do we want to try and fake up some
We would,
ID?
well, we have no ID, so
Yeah.
any ID we make will be fake. So yes, let us do that.
Yeah, I don't. Sure, I have no skill in that, but I bet we could try.
You willing to devote a little more of those cubles?
Yes, we will devote our.
So doing what?
If through the shadow net, just because I know it's possible, you can create fake IDs,
Yes.
Basically by a burn.
like fake personal IDs. So I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, can we fake up like some kind of ship ID that would at least pass cursory inspection?
I was gonna say like a shout around.
Boots thinks that you guys could do it if we work together.
Oh,
Two of
you
you.
can? Oh, okay, great. So yeah, I'll just sit down with Boots then.
We do not need to divulge our pupils. Not that we are not willing.
All right, so
We are
I'll
just
work with
reluctant.
Boots to.
You got to spend.
What do
money
we
make
want to
money.
be?
Ooh, what do we want to call it? So something that looks boring.
Inoffensive.
Yeah, not Shadow Raptor. Something like
The puddle jumper.
no. That just
The June bug. Or,
yeah.
Did you? I like that.
Meditations.
Oh, meditate. There you go. Meditations.
Yeah,
Meditations.
it's far more-
Nice. Yeah.
On
the
war.
the meditations.
On more, right? In parentheses.
The war is in quotes. What does the war mean? Yes.
Good. Yes.
You should
exactly.
meditate on that.
Yeah.
Then you'll understand.
Oh, I don't want to get into this. Very well. Meditations.
Sure. Meditations.
We are merely using it to put a trace, a signal. We will probably just get rid of this as soon as we are finished.
Oh yeah. Each time we show up, it's a different phony name.
There you go.
right?
Meditations. This one will be out of what? Port in. Port in's harder to.
Port
track
end,
down.
indeed.
Yeah.
Port end.
And they, as soon as you make a signal go off, you get a communication. This is Czar Moonbase. We just read you. Was your transponder giving you problems before?
Yeah,
There was no signal.
malfunctioning, but we've got it under control.
Okay. And this is ship I've never seen. The Meditations.
Yes.
Do you have a flight path planned?
How specific was Feg's information on where to?
So go to Romanov Moonbase, and they'll give you a pad.
Okay. Yeah. We're here at the.
But you didn't give any flight plans. So
We need a name.
you can do
drop.
it now, but you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a name drop.
Yeah. We're here at the invitation of Fedka Radomir.
Do you have any documentation to that effect?
I'll
You
shoot
do.
them one of the.
You do.
Oh,
There's one in
it
there
was
for-
in there.
yes.
Okay, so I'll forward that to them.
You'll be going to pad 3, and they give you a coordinate. Is there anything else you'll need when you arrive?
Our ship's life support system is currently compromised. So is that hopefully
Is it pressurized?
is that a pressurized bay?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have the repair facilities for that here. We don't have the repair facility for that here. You'll need to deal with that at
That's
spaceport.
We merely needed to make sure that the landing area was secure. We intend to deal with that at a later time. It is not.
It is secure.
We're
You're
just
free to land.
sheep, right? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, then we're gonna go find Corey.
No, and pick up material.
Right.
Raw
Okay. And there's the raw
materials.
materials here too. Okay. Then we fly out to the deep one. All right.
Pirate territory.
Yeah, we're exchanging sheep for. This is like we're playing.
That's awesome.
We're playing Catan.
We are playing Space Catan.
I'll give you.
And
sheep
we are about
for-
to encounter
Sheep
the robber.
for osmium.
Yeah, sheep for osmium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give you my 1 sheep for your 2 osmium. Good trade.
And then we're going to go to the deep line and encounter the robber.
That's right. The robber. Uh-oh.
And you land. Risk. There's some risk. You got to land the
Yeah,
right way to
gingerly.
protect the leg.
I take my time. Yeah.
Landing pad. And when you land, there's somebody directing you and all that, and then there's somebody walking down a path towards their ship, and then you land and you're set.
I assume the sheep is still okay condition,
Yep.
alive.
Yep.
We will miss you, George.
You know?
I will miss you. Someone just looks up wistfully for a moment.
It's okay.
And how are you getting out? How are you going out of the ship? I guess you're opening the whole the bay.
I figured
Yeah,
we
the big
drop,
bay
drop
door.
the hold. So
To get the sheep out,
Yeah.
and we're still on our EVA sheets, but with the dangling
So
we have a sheep in a leash in our
forearm EVA
our
sheets.
spacesuits. Jeez.
Mine tied in a bow on the front.
Yeah, right,
Well,
right over the shoulders.
The person coming out is in a suit, and the guy directing is in a suit.
Oh, okay.
This moon does not have an atmosphere that is enough. So you need to be in an EVA suit anyway here,
Okay.
until you're in the station.
Okay.
We need to figure out how to transport the sheep.
Yeah. You need-
Yeah.
Is there an empty suit?
We gotta
Spare?
stuff a sheep.
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
There are transportation crates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got its face up in the ass.
Yeah.
We feel we have crossed some sort of silly threshold.
Oh.
And
I
you
just want to see the scene of us trying to get it. Should we shoot it
George,
first?
please.
you put it in. It's not a big deal.
Yes, we get him into the crate.
All right, so I can imagine this little hover crate. We're walking down. The sheep is in there.
Come with us. We want to check the merchandise.
Ooh, merchandise. Okay. Yeah, we want to do
And
that
you go
too,
in.
shouldn't we?
We
And
can check.
there's a long walkway from the ship all the way to the moon base. The moon base looks like this. It's just a spire out of the mountain.
Mm.
Cool. And there are pads all around it on the ground, and you go up, and there's right into the mountain. There's carved like doorways and stuff.
Question: this moon, does it have a atmosphere, or is it like our moon? I'm just curious. Is it like?
It has a little atmosphere, but not enough for breathability.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It was like just a teeny bit, but not like vacuum like.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I want.
And you get inside, and you go through deep through pressurization, and then you can take your suits off.
Mm.
Wow.
A little embarrassed getting out of this
And there's
forearm
a
suit.
couple of people there, maintenance people it looks like, and people who take care of equipment. And they're like, wow, I've never seen EVA suits like that.
They are collector's
Um,
items.
Yeah, it's
Where are
just,
your other arms?
We have them just in case. They come and go.
yeah. It's a dentist thing. You wouldn't understand.
I know some Dendai.
Well, then you know what I'm talking about.
They wanted to speak to you upstairs.
Very well.
That sounds
We'll
ominous.
check the merchandise. They bring it in, and they run a scanner across the box, and you can see that it shows a sheep in there,
Do be careful.
and it's moving and everything. Like, excellent.
Be nice to
Good luck.
George.
Do be careful. It would be bad if the merchandise were to be.
I was told this is the most precious thing we've had here in decades, so we'll be careful with it.
Thank you.
Excellent. That's good.
We even have a zoologist on the way to make sure that this creature is maintained well,
Fascinating indeed.
and a person.
We've been feeding him green cake and leftover 1,000-year food.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and he's been hanging out in like a disused med bay on a ship in the dark.
Oof. Jeez.
I know.
We'll have to get around to scrubbing out the sheep crap.
I know somebody feels like
I know.
a terrible pet dad.
A terrible what?
Pet dad.
It's alright, we probably just sold him off to be like a lobotomy.
And a little bit later, maybe 5 minutes later, after you're, getting out of this stuff and getting your ready clothes, and Eldori comes to see you. She looks like this. Her name is Dashi. It's Dashi. And she goes, I'm the Blue Hole Station Director. The Blue Hole is a different station on the planet where we do a lot of our research. We'll be transporting the animal from here.
His name is George.
George, thank you. I was told there was some concern or some issues with your transponder, and when we ran the information that was supplied, I was told to tell you that if you need that to be corrected the data, we can do that for you.
That would
Before
be
you leave.
nice. Yes. That would be.
As in, to give us a better phony?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Micrometeors can
this
be
was
a
a-
problem. They
A
do
short,
so much
quick
damage.
job.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't the transponder that we're referring to. We're referring to the documentation on the ship.
Perhaps you did not catch.
Oh, I see.
When the literal,
understand.
when the literal,
Gets out literal.
the literal war guys, like, yeah, we got to be more sneaky about this. Surely you've had experience with this.
So follow me. I'll bring you to where this can be taken care of.
Oh, excellent.
That's very useful.
And they take you up to an area that looks like a computer lab.
Mm.
And there's a person there who looks like a computer geek of some kind with all kinds of computers and servers, but there's no keyboards or anything. Everything is done with holographically and the stuff. It's like, wow, that was one of the worst pieces of documentation I've ever seen. In the old days they would say that you made it with crayons.
Thank you. It was a rush job.
Yeah, probably as your transponder went on, you realized, oh my God, we need documents.
Oh, it was at least a minute beforehand.
Oh,
Some credit here. But yes.
Vanya asked me to fix this for you. So who should I register as the owner? This is the one thing that probably needs to be correct. Now, it could be all of you if you're all owners, or it could be any one of you, but somebody has to be an owner.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
We
We need a name though, like a corporate name or something.
Are we about to choose
No.
the name for our adventuring group?
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say. Could be the Shadow Raptor Corporation.
Good.
limited liability.
Help us in.
I'm okay with any of those.
Gee. Speedy Acquisitions LLC.
Discreet acquisition. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a shady business
There
operation.
you go,
Please, we would like this. It is very upfront. No one would suspect that we are actually shady acquisitions.
So long story short, in all our names is right?
Yeah.
And who's the authorized pilot?
Me. Jack Crow.
And Boots is like watching what he does.
Mm.
You're probably watching what he does.
Yeah, like
He goes, all right, here's what your document was before. And he shows, and it's like, it's not filled out correctly. It's not logged correctly. It's not turned in correctly. In fact, you kind of think that the only thing you did right was have a document. Everything else was wrong.
I kind of blush looking at him like,
Like,
oh.
Sure, that's
That is
back
what
up.
we
So,
want, right?
and he puts on all the information. Is this serial number correct for the ship? That I assume this is the one you're assigning. Has it?
Oh, certainly
Did
not.
you-
No, you'll need a different one. We just made that up.
Okay. So does it have one already?
No, it has not.
You
So-
could say it
so
is
you're gonna
factory
need to-
fresh.
So he goes, I'm going to give you a number. You'll need to put it into the transponder so that it will show correctly. And I'm going to immediately upload this to the sim so that it will be on all the records for this, all the
okay,
systems.
excellent. All right.
However you came in with the transponder off and we couldn't see you, you may want to be careful with that because you will start attracting attention. Whatever that was, it was very interesting to us. But it will be more interesting to the marshals, the military, and God knows who else. And we would really hate for whatever that is to end up in their hands.
Yeah.
We would hate to have our ships show up in front of a blockade. So,
So welcome, crew of the meditation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
and he is send our doop, and he start putting the information in the right places. You're now official.
Feel very official. Fantastic.
Nice.
It's a good thing you were coming here.
Apparently.
So you're headed out to the deep wine now.
Yeah.
Your raw goods that you had requested are waiting outside your ship. You can take them in when you leave. and I was told to make sure that you get in and out of here quickly. So.
I don't think we had anything else to do here, so
Yeah,
thank you very
else.
much.
Well, we
We're
were
all
told
done.
to not take any more of your time than necessary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he walks you down back to Dashi, who then walks you to the where you put your EVA suits on. The sheep is already gone. And good luck on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshi. Did our programmer friend ever introduce himself?
No.
Do we require any supplies for our trip?
We have enough life support stuff to get to the deep wind, I assume.
Yeah.
I've still got probably half a bag full of room service, so.
Somewhere along the line, we would also like a spacesuit that does not have dangling arms.
That will raise questions on it. So yeah, we do need new
New
suits.
suits, yeah, that's fair. Well, this all requires money. Maybe we can fill that in as like a line item addition to what we need.
How much money is a spacesuit?
EVS.
Let me look it up.
But
I mean, are things able to be purchased here?
Not here so much.
Not here.
More on, this is really a business office where they the way Czar works is they actually license the mining out to other mining companies, and they just to make money off of all of it. And you're at the place where they manage that, so it's really kind of a management office.
well, we can get something into the deep wind, I hope.
Yeah, Deep Wine has
Buy it, have it
all
delivered.
kinds of stuff.
I'm sure it's just
We'll drone it up to wherever we need it.
all right.
But
You get out to your ship.
Yep.
They get you out there. Your raw materials are there, already crated up.
load it up
You
Transponder
move
on.
up.
with the new
Yeah.
put in the proper code, and then it's official. And then you tie it down. I mean, I assume you tie down your stuff when you put it in.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a big deal to do it.
Yep.
We already had to dig through all that stuff when it got turned all upside down when it crashed. Right?
Someone looks at all the stuff he's loaded in tie down and gives a yes, indeed, that will not be traveling anywhere.
Yeah, well, especially because some of that's the equipment. I assume some of it's rare materials, right?
Yeah, and expensive. The platinum's really expensive, but the other ones are rarer and
Maybe fragile.
probably probably more expensive.
That ain't going nowhere.
And you have about a 2-day journey to get out to the deep wind from here. So you get out in the ship and you eat some, you get a little sleep in. And when you wake up, there's a door in your room that's open, and it's not the main door. And you didn't see a door there before.
Yeah, right. Huh.
Chunk.
What's that?
The collapsible right
Oh.
shield.
Okay.
The drums.
Yeah.
The drums.
It's not like a door like this. It's just a hole.
Yeah.
Like
I figured it was
a
just
panel
like
or something.
the drums. The drums called to us again. Goes to investigate the door.
There's a hallway.
Hello. We are growing
No answer.
quite tired of these.
There's no giant centipedes.
Oh yeah.
Getting our way down the hall.
And when you step in, the door closes behind you. Actually, it doesn't close like that. It fades in.
At this point,
And-
we should suspect.
And your feet in here feel really heavy. Like exhaustively heavy to take a step.
We know we do not sleep well, but this is ridiculous.
A warning light goes on, and you hear what's your number again? I forgot. 1479 Soren cannot be found. And you hear this warning going on.
Cannot be found.
Yeah,
Huh.
This is from the ship. Is reporting this?
Yes.
So
And about the time that happens, the ship announces calculations and reestablishment algorithms have been completed. You're not sure exactly what that means. You kind of think that means that it's finished, like getting all the its spatial corrections
Syncing
done.
with the Crucible, maybe.
And then the warning signal stops. Soren 1479 Soren has been found. Disregard. We will run a maintenance on the internal systems. You're in the hallway.
The hallway or
The hallway. The hallway inside the door.
Okay. Is there anything else in this hallway, or is it just hallway?
The floor is white. The walls are grayish, and there is some kind of little lights along the side that, like you'd see in like a movie theater, like on the floor, just enough to give you direction. And it seems to go in both directions, as far as you can see. The lights just disappear into the distance.
He begins walking forward the way he was, even though now he has apparently infinite behind him.
Yeah, and you take a couple of steps, and you realize you're breathing heavy all of a sudden, and there's like a weight like on you, and it is hard to fathom how heavy you are here all of a sudden, and it just you even feel yourself slumping from your own weight here. And then you realize that the door that was there has slid along the few steps with you. Like you can see an outline to it. And
It's to the side of me or in front of me?
it's right to the side of you. Because you walked in and then you walked a few steps down the corridor, but the door seemed to slide with you. You realize you can step out whenever you want, and it's right next, and the door stays next to you. And it's not a new door. You realize it moved with you as you walked.
Take a few more steps. I assume I get progressively here.
After that thing goes off, the whole universe that you see around you changes in a way that you've never seen it. All the stars are different places. All the systems seem to be shifted in some way, like a small amount, but an amount. And it kind of throws your sense of balance off and your sense of understanding. But when it happens, you realize you've gained a new ability to control like zooming and stuff like that, and you can kind of move and control the interface better, and you kind of think maybe you've become more attuned to the interface now, and things that you thought were in a place may have been maybe more malleable, and you can change positions where you are in relation to it, so you can see things from other perspectives. And that is a very disorienting thing when you're used to being at the center of it, to the ship.
Yeah.
In a way, you kind of think maybe it's unresolved variables, but it said it had resolved the variables.
I'll attempt to contact Soren through the ship.
You get no contact. And Boots is looking at his computer, and he realizes it is flooding with data, and he's never seen all this data, and he's like, I don't know what's happening, but I can read things that I wasn't able to read before. There's like, I think I understand some of this stuff.
Oh, the
language,
the ancient language, yeah. I definitely would want to help out with this too.
And then you're seeing the data that he's looking at, like the information, and you think there's something wrong with the math, calculating where everything is. You're not exactly sure why. It shouldn't be. It could be that the crucible is damaged or incorrect, or which never happened, but there's something wrong with the data here. And the data doesn't all look like it's related to space-time, which is what astrogation always is. There's like other data there that seems to be layered with that data and with the language. And you're starting to understand some of this data now that it's calculating something beyond space-time.
Okay.
Which you're not sure what it is. And Boots is like, I'm getting all the information, all the stuff we're looking at. Oh, not that one. And he starts pouring out all the information that was being collected that you guys were trying to find answers to.
So I guess shall I just read this out?
We figured as
Sure.
much.
It's interesting stuff. Sure. So okay, let me make it dramatic here. Kelren is looking over Boots' shoulder, pushes him aside. But wait a minute. Let me take a look at that. And he's a scientist, right? And he's an astrogation expert. But there's something about this that is defying his training, right? His education, and so he kind of. He has this other side of him where he has this intuitive connection to the Crucible as well, which is what allows him to be a melder, to use his powers. And so he's learning slowly more and more to kind of allow that side to, talk to him in a way that's sometimes questions his scientific background, but he kind of feels like it's nagging at him, so he kind of opens himself up to that and says, wait a minute, if I'm reading this right, it says that there was a time that this galaxy was being explored, right? Long ago, when the major races that we know of were still not spacefaring. In fact, only the Balare were spacefaring at this time, and they were limited to just the solar system and slower than light ventures. This was a long time ago. And it seems that the ship made no contact or update to the Crucibles in all those years until its arrival here. It's like it didn't want to be seen by anyone. There seems, in fact, to be a reference here to two forms of Sorium, Sorium and Sorium-D. We know about that. And apparently this ship seems to use both. It doesn't say what their differences are, unfortunately. But there's apparently the Eldori and the Dendas were... oh, that's fascinating. This suggests that someone or something uplifted the Eldori and the Dendas via technology. And that the same happened for the other races that are known today. So, wait a minute here. So, Kellen's having his mind blown, right? So he's like, so before any of us that we know were advanced species like we are today, apparently the Atorians perhaps came here and uplifted us. And since then, this particular ship's been hiding from the Crucibles, which is why it took so long to bring its information up to date, I guess. And let's see here. Now, if I'm looking at this map, some celestial bodies are not where they're supposed to be. They're sometimes close, but many large things are more off than the navigation system should be. It seems to be slowly closing the gap and making adjustments. True, but why is everything off? I still don't understand this. And how is it doing this adjustment? Let's see here. Oh, here's more on the uplifting. During this time when this was happening, there were some who believed it was imperative to uplift the races that were close to achieving spacefaring status so they could ascend nearly together, keeping them nearly equal and preventing war and genocide. Many also believe this was wrong, as evolution had to take its natural course. From this, apparently, and it just gets cut off. That's all I can tell. Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, this ship was owned and created by the Atorians millennia ago. There was a disagreement about this concept of ascension and whether they should uplift the rest of us. We know there was a war. We know the people that created this ship, the Three Child, wanted to hide from the rest of the race. Maybe I don't know whether they were the ones who wanted to do the uplifting or the natural evolution. Probably the natural evolution. I don't know. And they've only just now connected to the Crucible for the first time, and the data still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Am I right in thinking that I still don't understand why I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be seeing it the same way he is, but in looking at this data, I'm assuming I would get some intuition, insight.
Right, you're able to understand what he's seeing from an astrogation
but it doesn't
perspective.
make any sense.
But
Still
it
doesn't,
seems
even
like
after
things
this.
are. Everything in it that he's seeing seems fuzzy. Like nothing is completely concrete where it's supposed to be and things like that, which is a really weird. Like you've never seen it like that.
Mm.
It's like fuzzy logic figuring out where things are rather than logic telling you where it's supposed to be.
I mean, I don't know how to put this other than this is a clunky way to put it, but I mean, I'm assuming that like when I'm thinking astrogation, I'm thinking kind of solid objects, the projects of science. But is this more like of an Esper way to sort of interact with bodies, or
maybe?
Well,
you could
like
make
for
that.
a sun, is there kind of like an area of probability where it should be? Is that what I'm seeing, or
Well, there should
rather
be.
than it's
I mean,
here?
you'd have to zoom in to really see better that kind of thing.
But I can do that now, right?
Yep.
I'll try that. Okay, so for I don't know whatever asteroid we're heading to in the deep white, I'll try and zoom in on that.
Okay.
I'll try and change
And
my
as you
point of
zoom in on
perspective
it,
over there. Yeah.
its position is not exact anywhere. It seems like an infinite number of positions it could be at, all near each other, but infinitely different.
Like a cloud of probability.
yeah. So are we looking at the way in which you'd look at a subatomic particles probability cloud or something?
Maybe.
Or is this multiple versions all overlaid? Does it look like data's overlaid, or does it?
It looks like data's overlaid.
It's like we're not going to be looking at multiple dimensions or something here.
And you're in your hallway, staring down the light.
Quite a long hallway. We are beginning to grow very tired of this.
Stack of mystery data, if you will.
The door. Our constant companion, the door, has been following us for the 5 or 6 steps we've taken.
Yes. And you don't think you can take another step forward down the hall?
On his knees at this point.
Close to probably going to a knee.
Taking a knee. The door is just an opening, right?
Yeah, it's solid, but it looks like,
We have had enough of this dream. We are leaving.
And you step over.
Where do I go?
And you are back in your room. And the door fades closed. And then the ship announces the opening is unbarred.
I was wondering about that.
And then we'll take a break.
Okay. BRB here?
Huh? Yeah, be right back. Yes. I can see it. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Our intermission.
Oh, we're in TV land. We meet again.
I want to make sure that I'm seeing it.
Check on that.
Yeah, can you check? Make sure it's going through. Oh, there it is. It's good. I got it.
That's good.
So, the ship had made an announcement,
Yes.
and then it went silent. And you're feeling an understanding of the controls just from zooming in and out and playing. You realize there's a lot more controls here than you initially thought, and they're all available. And a lot of these things weren't available before. It didn't seem like they were. It was like they were hidden or removed or not allowed, maybe, or something. And you had gotten all that with boots. You step out of the room, out of the hall.
Soren, Kel,
And you are
Jack,
physically exhausted still.
Jack, Boots. Why does our ship have a very large doorway in it that leads to a infinite abyss, a heavy infinite abyss?
Where have you been? What have you been doing, Soren?
Yeah. Have you been experimenting with the drugs in the med bay?
We wish this was merely narcotics. Hold on. We will meet you on the bridge.
Well, where's this door? Maybe I should examine it.
We would like to examine it as well, but it disappeared.
Okay.
Hold on, we'll be right there.
So while he's walking, I'm going to ask the
Make me a
computer.
perception check.
There's what's he talking about, computer?
Cock. 10.
Okay. And you get to the bridge.
Soren looks tired as shit.
What happened? What are you talking about? Dish.
We all look weird. Looks strange.
And everyone up here looks a little frazzled too, just not tired, just like a what the hell just happened moment.
Yeah, well,
Did something occur while I was...
Well, we've uncovered a lot more of the data, but it's hard to make sense of. Apparently, the Atorians are responsible, according to this data, for uplifting all of our, well, not your, I guess, but our species into spacefaring.
Oh no, ours too. Yours first.
Yeah.
Then everybody else.
Right,
Here.
but then the Ashen Forged, of course, are doing.
Did the Belwari essentially help humanity still in this one?
Yes,
Okay.
they were the first ones. They were already spacefaring when they got here. They didn't need to be uplifted.
Yeah,
the others.
Yeah, they helped them not self-destruct.
Yes,
Okay.
they became an important partner in it.
I just wanted
in a way of putting it.
But of course, they don't know their own history, right?
But they don't know their own history.
Yeah.
Something happened that
Zapped that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure to establish the
you know
canon
more of
here.
their history than they know now. At least one thing they don't know.
I just wanted to establish the canon here.
Yep.
We
And from that, you know that the ship is at least 10,000 years old.
Because, yeah, that's...
The calculator, this is really old.
And maybe we'll just share briefly, the data is being weird and all these extra dimensions are being represented here.
We believe we have you topped in terms of the space oddity. We found a portal, a doorway in our quarters. We must admit we have had strange encounters like this before.
What?
Not quite like this.
How many portals have you gone through in this ship?
That's
Soren?
why we said not quite like this.
I see. Okay. This is ground control. This is pretty weird, Major Tom. What are you talking about?
we began to walk through it. The portal disappeared, reappeared to our side, followed us down a hallway. Each step we want you to imagine something. Please imagine for your convenience that you have just had a very large backpack filled with as many rocks as you can think of, and then add more rocks. And each step they add more rocks.
Is this a metaphor?
This is indeed a metaphor. It is very heavy in there.
Are we talking about gravity here?
We do not know what we are talking about. Merely every step we took in this hallway was a very heavy step indeed.
Well, if you're in a zone with a heightened gravity above one, let's say the Earth soul measure, whatever the relevant thing is. I mean, we do know that Thorium-D there's this black hole business going on, and we've seen an effect like this before. If Thorium-D powers this vessel, could this be a side effect of that?
It still doesn't.
Computer, where did Soren go, like, during the time when you said you were unable to locate him? Where did his position change from and to?
From his room to nowhere.
And then?
Back into his room. 3 seconds later.
Were you...
What's my perception of time on this?
No way it was 3 seconds to you.
We felt like we were on a forced march.
It might have been an hour.
Yeah, we felt like we were on a forced march. An hour at the very least, maybe more.
Well, if it's... Okay.
That's unusual.
You do not say.
So, computer...
And around him, like, space is all around the room.
Yeah, right, he's projecting that. So, computer, is there any record of any sort of space-time anomaly in the vicinity of his disappearance and reappearance?
Negative.
And are there any records in the past, in the logs of your previous pilots of such unexplained space-time anomalies? For example, portals, momentary loss of tracking of crew members such as this?
Negative.
So this isn't like a natural byproduct of this engine. Is this possible that the Duboises are trying to reach out and make contact or something?
Before we were on Freesis seems like some time ago, we did encounter something strange like this. Wraith came in upon us. We were locked in mortal struggle with some sort of creature. I believe it. We said it was some sort of snake creature, but we have since corrected this knowledge. It is now referred to as a snake. Centipede.
Oh, right, yes.
There was a door hatch that opened.
And where was this hatch?
It was in the cargo bay, I believe. Was it in my room or in the cargo bay?
In your room. It was in a room you were sleeping in at the time.
Yeah, I did take a crew quarters, so I suppose it is my room.
Is the door this creature came out of similar to the door that you stepped through?
Does it look too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a different size.
More or less, just a smaller size, at least until
Why are they after you in particular? Because have you seen anything like this?
We then slept in the bathroom.
Is it possible you're having some kind of bleed through from one of your constituent components?
When we were on the station, we did speak in time about possible bleed through of some of our parts with our contact.
Well, as I studied back in school, I did study a little bit about Ashen Forged physiology, and you are made in part with, shall we say, repurposed crucible technology.
We are intimately aware of our
I was
existence.
unaware of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we do have this is the sole case of a malfunctioning or partially functioning crucible in this system. And the fact
that you know
Yeah.
ever.
This is the only one, so
That
you
might be. You might want to reach out to another Ashen Forge and see if they're having similar.
Are there any
encounters.
other Ashen Forge that we've met in the system?
Yeah, you've seen some before.
We've seen it. We
Not a couple, not many, but a couple.
So I don't know if this is
For sure, in the
Ashen
deep
Forge.
wine there'll be some.
Yeah.
That's tough to read.
So maybe we could look into that possibility. It's an Ashen Forged thing. Otherwise, because if this centipede case that was before you encountered the Thorium D reactor in the Dubois' facility.
Indeed. The only Thorium reactor we know of was in there, but we were not exposed to it in any capacity that we are aware of.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, honestly, Kelvin is probably gonna pull out a, pull out his Geiger counter or whatever. Like, is there any residual?
And the ship actually lost track of it for 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's unusual. It sounds like I said this isn't just a.
It wasn't exactly 3 seconds. It was like about 3
around.
seconds.
Yeah. So, but is there any
It gives
sort
you a
of,
precise measurement. It's
but not some sort of perfect number. So, is there any sort of residual energy on him?
no,
I want to go look in your room too.
maybe a perception check.
Just plain perception or science or okay? So that's 15 for perception.
When you head into the hall, a green light catches your eye that you hadn't seen on before. To the room you were not allowed in, the red light is now green.
Oh well, I'll be curious. Of course, I want to go. Oh well, let's see.
I thought we were going to my room.
The cat gets distracted by the laser pointer.
Yeah, that's exactly what, that's the feeling.
So
Do you no longer wish to enter my chambers?
momentary. Just I can't pass this up. I mean, look, a green light.
Yes, it is a green light.
Yes. Do you know
There are many green lights.
Yeah,
but
every
this
door
one is
has
mine.
one.
Yeah, no, I'm going this one.
Why?
Maybe this door was not accessible. This is a part of the ship that's now available to us for the first time.
Oh,
Maybe this will explain your incident.
you may call it a hallucination if you wish.
Well, I won't call it that because I haven't verified. I would like to subject you to a neurological exam, but let's see what's in here. That's open behind door number 3.
And you go to touch the door and it opens. And you look into a room that seems very dark except the center where there's this glowing bluish material in some kind of an engine that is not completely unlike the one you saw on Freesis in the Dubois facility.
So this is like a Thorium D core power source. Or
Yeah, it's not the same, but it's similar enough that you're like, that's unusual that they're so similar. It's not as big.
Right.
And in the center, you see a tiny, super bright blue dot, which is probably what you think is probably the Thorium D in a magnetic chamber floating in this space.
I mean, I guess
And
don't look around there.
nearby, there's something that looks like what that other big globe was near that.
Mm.
And there's like this moving kind of, it's not quite liquid, it's more like a gel maybe.
Mm.
And there's this thing that's slowly going around it and kind of moving through it and keeping it in motion. And the way that it reconfigures each time is it has sort of the form that you'd see like a brain shape, but of liquid that keeps rebuilding every time it goes through. Not nearly as big as the one on Freesis, but similar to that.
So we saw the brain sort of thing on Croesus as well in that area?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was that big dome that had the platform above it that you could go over.
And so is it possible that this is like a mini version of whatever that?
Maybe. They're similar enough that it's too coincidental not to be.
Well, I guess, I'll go do...
And you two can make me a perception check.
Me as well, or no?
Are you there with them, Jack? Or are you still piloting space?
Yeah, I'd still be piloting there.
Okay.
So, is this anything to do with science?
Yes.
Okay. So then I'm gonna have an 18.
I have an 18 as well.
The room looks bigger than the space should be.
The TARDIS. Bigger on the inside. All right. So yeah, I mean,
Soren leans
It could be an illusion. But,
Soren leans his head out there into the hallway. Back in.
you know, when you look back in, like the room continues past the door.
yeah, where it should be.
This room is bigger than the hallway.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start walking around it, see if there's anything else in there, taking whatever scientific measurements.
It was a lot like this, except less heavy.
This is less heavy?
Yes, this is less heavy.
No gravity side effect. Computer, what's the purpose of this device here? This computer? I'm pointing at the brain thing.
That is where I do my
Oh,
calculations.
this is you. Nice to meet you finally, in person, in the material substance.
You are not the most eloquent.
Well, what's the proper thing to say when you meet someone's gel brain for the first time exactly?
It is nice to meet you.
Fine. So I'll say, we encountered something very much like this down on Phreesis. Did we tell you about that?
You did.
But this seems to be, so you were properly, what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't doing it right down there, is that correct?
They don't understand. They don't understand the calculations that they are trying to run. They're limiting it too greatly. Or limiting it greatly.
So, could you tell me about? Oh, wait a minute. You did the computer say the opening is unbarred? Is that
You
how we
ship
heard that
announced
again?
it, yeah.
So can you tell us what opening was unbarred? Now that you've announced this as a thing, maybe that's where you went.
We did go through an opening, and it was indeed unbarred.
What opening, please, computer? Can you identify the nature of this opening?
Why are there holes in my quarters?
They're not in your quarters.
Why are there holes in, point to roughly right across, in that room over there? There are always holes. Sometimes things come through them and try and kill me.
I don't understand your question.
We do not either. Soren just puts his head in his hands. We will leave this to you. We think we need a rest. As the bags under Soren's eyes become very apparent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I will spend some time examining all of this stuff and try to understand what it is I'm seeing.
Please alert us if you find anything.
So this is a Sorium-D at core powering the brain that is the ship's AI, effectively.
Correct.
Is there anything you need here from us, or I'm asking the computer?
Negative. I'm fully functional.
Why do we have access to this room now? Because
The opening has been unbarred. You have full access now. Everything is available.
And when you say the opening is being unbarred, are you referring to this doorway behind us, or is there more? I think it's a more general claim, right?
The doorways are unbarred, and they are now two-way.
I see. And to where do these doors open?
You are asking a at least thousands of years old computer from an alien civilization that may or may not be from our galaxy, with a language that is both literal and figurative at the same time.
Yes.
We do not think the answers will come as quickly as you wish.
Well, I mean, for example, an answer might be a location in space. It could be something abstract like Demisar. What do you say, computer? Can you provide that information in a way I'd understand, or no? Where do the portals open to?
They allow you to move from point A to point A in a new space.
A new space.
Can I be tapped into this conversation?
Yeah.
Really?
You can hear it.
Okay.
Do you hear this, Jack? Let me
Yeah,
forward this to you.
I'll ask the computer, is that why I'm experiencing this effect around destinations? Is that why I can see so many different?
There are unlimited positions you can choose. It is your decision to choose the one you want.
Oh, how do we stay in the universe in which we first started out?
You're no longer in that universe.
How can we get back?
We would like to go back to our universe.
Is it possible? Is it relevant? From my perspective, you seem pretty nuanced there, computer. From my perspective, is there a reason I would want to, or does it even matter at this point?
You exist where you are.
We would like to go
Fair
back.
enough.
We would like to go back to our universe. We are not comfortable with this at all.
So I would like to kind of examine the data again that's coming in from
Okay.
the astrogate. I mean, I'm assuming we can zoom in and like see the ship, right?
Sure.
So like right now, are there a whole bunch of our ships?
It's the only thing that's totally clear and not fuzzy.
Okay.
We are
So this is how it manages all of the travel and intergalactic travel and things like that.
Yeah.
Are we or are we not in our universe?
Oh, it already said no.
Well, I mean,
No, it
we
didn't say
missed
you're
that
not.
one.
It said you're not in the universe you started in.
yeah. So this there might. So Kelvin will be like,
Oh.
well, you see, I think, yeah, and
So basically, after your long-winded explanation,
yeah. I won't.
so you are saying we have not crossed it into an alternate dimension, but we are indeed possibly not in the first universe.
Well, maybe the universe is constantly in flux, or it's a web of
I have
probabilities.
not slept in
or-
hours. I am tired. I will strangle you. I will
Okay,
think
the
nothing
short
of
version
it.
is the universe is maybe weirder than you thought. I don't think we've left it per se, but it's not really like we thought it was.
Yes or no? Do you believe we have crossed into an alternate dimension?
No.
Thank you.
Is that right?
Good night.
computer? Okay.
No, we do not want confirmation.
Okay.
We want to know what we already know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Calvin's gonna spend some time parsing what this means.
You're not 100% sure about your answer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. Nor am I the player.
Right.
Is this? I mean, is this something, Jack? Do you think that we can Is this gonna make instantaneous travel possible? Are we talking
Well, I mean-
teleportation? Are we talking?
Think about the amount of time that we required to travel, as the ship said it's already done from one galaxy to another.
Yeah, but I thought it did a lot of that the slow way.
We assumed it was a generation ship. Just doing that.
It's been 10,000 years.
At
But
least.
crucible travel is. Oh, I'm assuming. Do we know how crucible travel works? Like, is it a teleportation, or is it just super fast in one direction, or?
It's like a teleportation, but it's not new dimensions.
Right. It just you disappear in one place, you appear in another
Yes.
place. Okay.
It folds space, which is a space-time thing.
So maybe that's.
Which is why you understood the calculations that you saw.
Mm,
You understood the space-time part of it.
right.
There's some other part of it that you didn't understand. There were characters you didn't understand. There was math there and there that you're like, I have never seen that math.
And crucibles are the only thing we know that can do this. Like the rest of us
Correct.
haven't figured out how to do that.
Correct.
Teleportation trick. Is it possible the ship is like a mini crucible?
Oh, it sounded like it. If I asked it if it could go to another galaxy. It said sure.
Could it go in a matter of subjective time that is very, very
How long
quick?
does it take? Yeah, a computer. If I wanted to chart a course to, I'll give it the coordinates for the Andromeda Galaxy. How long would that take subjectively for the crew?
There's no crucible there.
Mm.
We would travel through hyperspace.
That would take a long, long time.
Hmm.
Do we?
Weeks or whatever.
Do we need a computer?
Only weeks?
Yeah. So
Weeks. We could get to another galaxy in weeks.
That's pretty
This is
fast.
I'm sorry.
Best.
I'm sorry, not weeks. It would take a long time.
Okay.
Not weeks. I was thinking of another star.
Oh, okay.
Of a non-crucible star.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. So okay. So is this ship able to travel in ways that say other ships in the system cannot?
Based on what you're seeing, in some way that you don't understand, yes.
Would I be likely to, I'll use however I'm manipulating stuff in there, and I'll point to different versions of the asteroid we're heading to now. Like,
Okay.
if we went here as opposed to here, what differences might I encounter? Other than the spatial differences or whatever it is I'm encountering now.
everything in the universe will have changed.
Ah, so this actually travels to different universes.
I take back what I told you earlier.
Oh,
It's not clear
well,
to
that's
me.
something.
Right. Yeah.
We do not like the idea of this.
I think I'm about ready for it. Oh, man.
Can we go back
So-
to the universe that we were in?
Yeah, here's a question. If we choose that one, what happens to the other one? Does it collapse and go away, or is it always there regardless of whether we go to it? Is this about like choosing which path we're going to walk on, or is it, or so that the other paths are always there? Can we like look at which asteroid we like to visit, or is this more like deciding what asteroid's going to be?
Collapse.
What reality we're going to encounter? Yeah.
Are we merely collapsing quantum probability, or are we indeed visiting a new universe? One of them is slightly less horrifying to us
Maybe
than
those
the
are
other.
two ways to describe the same thing. I don't know. Kelrin's not. I do have a whole lot of physics degrees, but I don't know how good he is.
Yeah,
at
I need to
quantum
do some
probability
philosophy
stuff.
study.
That's why I'm freaking out, man.
Yeah, right. So
I need my book. I need my book on Descartes. I need my Descartes book.
So at this point, I'll ask the computer whether it can explain what the purge command was. At this point, is that something that's?
It says the command was given to the Crucible.
Is it like hitting reset?
It was purging security information, preventing SORIMD uses.
So that allows this vessel to function?
It allows the SORIMD to be available to those who need it.
So is it? I see. So this. Kelrin is now doing some calculations in his head. So how long ago did that in game? Did that command get issued first? Do I know?
A month ago, maybe.
Is it? How long would it would have taken longer than that for the Dubois to set up the SORIMD research, right?
Yeah. Who issued the purge command? Was it issued from this vessel or from somewhere else?
Yes, this vessel issued the command.
Yeah. So it could do its thing.
And that's what made this. Yeah. So
It's what made it did it to the Crucible.
Right. So this one was already using SORIMD. It didn't need to.
Yeah, this ship was using it.
And
And the Crucible has it, but it wasn't using it.
I don't know what the effect is of that.
Well, here's what I'm most worried about. When you say the opening is unbarred and allows for two-way travel, might we be expecting any unusual visitors as a result of this?
Unknown.
Hello, welcome to my current living situation. There may or may not be a giant centipede in your cabin tonight.
Wonderful.
Sleep with your knives.
Yes.
I always do. Yeah. Oh.
Kelrin's awake all night now. I better make some coffee.
Now you know how Soren creates a trench warfare and sleeps in closets.
Right? Oh, I thought you were being weird. Right.
We are weird. PTSD kicks in hard. But it's not paranoia if there are space centipedes out to get you.
True. So at this point, Kelrin is fascinated, of course, by all the science, but also a little concerned about he doesn't know what the implications are. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
It's kind of
for us.
beyond any of us.
You think that with time you could figure out what that math is.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it is off. I mean, you'd have to do some of the calculations to figure out what's happening.
Proficiency in advanced math,
Yep,
astronomy,
you do.
Hey, there you go.
astrography,
That's all.
You could figure it
physics,
out probably.
navigation. So I'll bang away at that.
We recommend that until we have a better grasp of this, we do not engage in anything that is not we do not engage in any tech level that is beyond the standard Silurian tech level. If it is not,
Are you saying we shouldn't use this vessel?
no.
Yeah, well.
No. We say if it is more advanced than what the Belwari are capable of right now, we should not do it.
Okay.
We will use them as our benchmark until we have a better understanding. This is our suggestion.
So you're saying I shouldn't just start pushing buttons on the ship? Like, what's this one do? What's this one do?
Yeah, I've got a whole new set of controls I have access to.
Then you.
Oh yeah.
What's this one
Yeah.
do? Whoop. Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to.
I probably won't do that.
Let's see if we can visit 2 at once.
No, but the interesting thing is you can see more than just this galaxy too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, like the map goes a little
It's
farther
bigger,
than
it's
maps
bigger
we've
than you
usually-
remember.
We're usually
Oh,
seeing.
okay.
Yeah.
Zoom out. Whoa.
Do I see other Crucible bearing galaxies?
Yes.
Wow. Which means we could visit those places.
We could.
Like, well, if we need to hide out, we now know where we can go.
What we need is a patron. 'Cause
To
there's not. Oh, I mean, we need serious financing for this. So
well, we get this ship fixed, and we could probably
Yeah.
go. Who knows? When we could do whatever we can go. Lots
Yeah,
of
I know.
places. Although again, I don't know what it means to have these openings be unbarred, because that wasn't. It's not like you visited another Crucible or something that would happen in your room. It's something a little weirder than that.
We have no idea what on Dendasar we did or where we went. We took a total of perhaps 15 steps. And then we ended up back where we were. At least an hour later.
On Dendasar.
Oh, you think you were on Dendasar?
No, we.
You mean where in the hell? Is what you're saying?
Oh.
Yes. Forgive us. Turn of expression.
Fair. All right. Well, yeah. So Kelvin is got his head in a book, or a digital book, a digital math book, right?
Soren is going to go take a much needed nap,
Yeah.
holding tightly his book by Rene Descartes, like a safety blanket.
What are you doing?
At some point, I'll just put us on autopilot. I'll try and keep us in the same universe
It's easy enough to
Yeah,
we're in
right.
currently.
You understand where the controls are for all of that now.
Okay. Oh, nice. All right.
So,
Don't.
please, if you can endeavor, get us back to our universe.
Yeah.
We would feel very much more comfortable.
Although, if we could go to another universe where the Dubois are not to kill us, that would be nice too.
But it is not our universe. We like our universe even with homicidal,
Dubois.
patriarchal.
I mean, your universe, my universe. Fair enough. All right. Let me work on this map.
And what are you doing, Jack?
Once we're on
Put it on
autopilot,
autopilot.
I probably want to rest.
Okay.
Think over the implications. Yeah.
You guys take a rest. Boots does the same, although he's like, he takes the computer with him and like, oh, I gotta dig in further too. And you go and take a rest, and you about a day later, you're about halfway there. You have time to eat and rest. Nothing happens during that time, and then you arrive at the asteroid field.
The deep.
The deep wind.
Deep wind.
And you have to navigate through it because the station is on the opposite side. I mean, it's not hard. You just need to make sure that
Okay.
you slow down to a more reasonable pace. Yeah, that's where the station is, and you're over on this side.
Do keep an eye out for pirates.
I mean, do we want to leave the transponder on during this period? I know it's just suddenly popping on the scanners.
Yeah,
bad
I
news.
think so. I
Just
think
gonna leave
that's
it on.
something to hide for when we really need to be stealthy.
Okay, fair.
Agreed.
So we're just the Meditations. Don't mind us.
Yeah.
Standard freighter. Just fly casual.
Yeah.
And you get to the moon, or the asteroid base.
The deep wind station.
Yeah, deep wind station.
This is where we're supposed to meet your associate.
And apparently more than just me. Corey
right.
Good. Yeah.
Corey Good.
Do you trust your associate?
Oh, not more than I can pay him.
Fair. Fortunately, the Romanovs are paying him. So.
Yeah. I think he wouldn't want to get on their bad side.
Buys a little more trust.
Yeah.
Than our 25 cue balls I've got.
Yeah.
I'm down to 25 now. Yeah,
Sucks to be 4.
yeah. I'm gonna. I'm gonna shoot you with a force bolt in a minute.
And you get a communication. Meditation, you are cleared for docking port J14. And you're sent coordinates and directions. You can't send just coordinates because you have to go around the station to get around. And
Okay.
The station itself is in the asteroid. So you go into the asteroid to park smaller ships like this.
Cool.
Keep them safe from other things, collisions, or what have you.
Just like a hollowed out asteroid
Yes.
we go fly into.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yeah, so you go in, there's easy hundreds of ships in here, small vessels of all kinds. A lot of ships going out, they're heading out towards the Crucible, some coming in from the Crucible. Because this is the last stop before the Crucible. So this is like the busiest spaceport in the entire system. This is also where all ships are required to go for customs and immigration checks before going to the Crucible or coming in from the Crucible. So.
And the Crucible is functioning again or no?
You don't know yet.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you would know. It is functioning again.
And about what time did it?
Right about the time that anomaly happened on your ship.
What do you know? Our ship is got something going on here with this Crucible. It's in got a little backdoor relationship happening
It's
here.
like
with
one
the
of
Crucible.
it's one of those police light changers,
Yeah, right.
except for Crucible.
So yeah, very very good to know. Don't mess with
when you
us.
get
Turn
in,
off the Crucible.
another ship comes out to meet you to guide you to your docking bay. They have little ships that come out, and they're more like drone ships that kind of guide you to make sure you go to the right one, and they're like tugs, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you get to the right spot, and they hook up. I mean, there's no gravity to speak of, so it's really getting to it. And then you run into a problem. The coupling does not attach to your ship.
Because it doesn't see the ship or something.
It doesn't seem to fit. There's something wrong with your coupling. It doesn't fit or something. You may have had some damage.
Yeah, we may have.
We're gonna have to send you to a flat pad. It's gonna be on the outside, and they give you a coordinate.
Okay.
It's probably best.
It is a patch job.
But it's also just different protocols. It's old. It's
It
10,000
is,
years.
it is
Like,
literally an ancient alien ship.
It's hard enough getting parts for like a 1980s car.
Yeah, I know.
Nowadays, this thing's 10,000 years old.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a 10,000-year-old muffler? No, it's not on the shelf.
We can backorder it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 2 weeks. All right. So yeah, I'll
So
take
they
it
send
back
you to a
outside.
flat pad on the outside, and you fly out, and you land gingerly,
Yeah, very.
Yeah, or it's like having a floppy
And-
disk or something.
and they use tow lines to lock you down,
Okay.
hold you down, and you have to go out in your spacesuits.
With her floppy arms.
Right, and
floating around. in
as you're
zero
coming
G.
in, you can see around you. There's other ships that are out here, and they all look like they're being worked on. Like this is like a maintenance yard. When there's problems, they can fix them here.
Well,
It's
this
not
is
necessarily a
probably
bad
where we
thing,
want
right?
the ship
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
eventually.
Right. And we see you got some damage on your landing pad too.
Yeah.
Do you need a maintenance drone to come out and start taking a look and assessing it?
No. We've got actually I need to get in contact with a Corey Good.
There's no Corey Good here. There is a Carry Good. Is that what you mean?
Possibly, if I can get in touch with him.
Give me a second. He's in his quarters are on the 14th floor. So when you come in, you can go find him.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, until then we won't need any maintenance services.
All right.
As we're headed out, I'm like quiet, like private encrypted comment. How well do you know Mr. or Mrs. Mr. Good?
How well do I? I've just heard of him.
You've met him
Met
once or
him?
twice, and you've
Okay.
done a little bit of. He's done a lot of underground work on ships.
Okay.
He's added weapons to ships that weren't supposed to have them. He does all the stuff that you're not supposed to do, and somehow he gets away with it right here.
Okay. Pretty well. He's good at what he does.
Okay, you'll recognize him when we meet him, at least.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Yeah, I've met him.
Yeah.
Because Corey, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's Cary Grant.
Well, okay, fair.
Huh?
And you get out of the ship. You're in your EVA suits with your forearm.
We need to buy new ones. I'm telling you, we need to add
really
that
now,
in,
yeah.
pencil that into these documents
Yeah.
they gave us. Oh, and also,
Yeah.
And you're met by a guy coming out from the station. Goes, you have documentation? Are you declaring anything?
Nothing to declare.
just that I'm tired and hungry. Do we have the? Do we need to share any of the
Your
Romanov
passports, your
documents?
passport information, and you all have that.
Yeah.
Just like, all right,
Duly bonded.
follow me. We'll get you in. And there's an elevator out here that pressurizes you once you get in, and then it heads down. And your EVA suits look a little off. I guess you ran out of the right ones.
Yeah,
Well,
multi-purpose.
That's right. It's,
There are some other four-armed aliens.
Oh, okay.
It's not the main ones. There's thousands of aliens.
Okay.
Yeah, we got them discount.
They are collector's editions.
Actually,
Military
not thousands,
surplus.
probably hundreds.
Yeah, we got them at the Army Navy surplus.
The four-armed army.
Yeah.
Get it?
Army.
Yeah. They're very army.
When you
aren't
get
they?
down, when you get down into the asteroid belt, you get a room where there's a locker. They assign you a locker for your EVA suits.
Okay.
It's a big locker. I mean, you can store a lot of stuff.
What is the weapons policy?
You think you're going to shoot a hole in the asteroid? If
No.
you do, that weapon you shouldn't carry that one.
Okay.
Duly noted. We only ask for precaution.
There are marshals on the station, though.
Of course. We will not have our second Space Amendment infringed. We have the right to wield railguns.
Yeah.
You can pry my railgun from my cold dead hands.
There you go.
Well, I'll be over here.
No, I need you right here. I need you to hold the railgun. It's very large. Stand up for yourself.
I just shoot force beams at people. That's fine with me, thanks. Yes, so I guess we need to talk to this guy, and then we'll transfer those documents, the Romanov documents, to him, or he will show us how to use them to get the labor we need.
When you get down, you have to go through through the customs director and the port director, Adriana Tulsa. And she comes out and meets you. So you're having trouble with your ship? I'm Tulsa. I'm the port director.
Yeah, we brought it here for repair.
Can you give me some information on what happened with it? How it ended up there? What's wrong with it?
Just these landing gears damaged.
You came in EVA suits, so
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
life
assuming
you have
support
life
damage.
support issues too.
Yeah.
Minor life support issues.
All right. Well, the chief engineer, Carrie, he'll be taking care of this issue.
Do we want? I think we are actually going to arrange private.
Well,
repairs.
Carrie.
Oh,
good.
Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie, good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We'd like to
be
speak
able
with
to speak to
Mr. Good. Yeah.
Mr. Good.
Actually, he said that he was expecting you guys.
Oh, excellent.
So
Okay.
he'll be waiting for you down in the maintenance room, maintenance area. Don't go anywhere where it says employees only, please.
It just occurred to me, like, did you choose the wrong asteroid? We needed the one with Corey,
Yeah.
not Carrie. Let's hope this.
We have a slightly more unsettling thought.
Oh, I think you're right. Oh.
What if we?
What I looked through the documents that I've sent. What do they say? Who are we supposed?
Corey.
They do say Corey.
Yeah.
The ones I have.
We
Yeah.
want to go back.
Well, let's
We
see what
are-
happens.
Oh.
Carrie's expecting us too.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It might just be a cover because
But I don't know.
it's really
That's odd.
yeah.
We are very uncomfortable.
Keller might just be getting paranoid.
We think
I've been paranoid for a while now, ever since the Dubois started after us.
Well, that too, but this is a more, I don't know,
A deeper, more
metaphysical
unsettling paranoia.
concern.
Yeah.
Soren is freaking out right now, and he needs help coming down. We do not like that we are not in our universe.
Well, I
We
don't
do not
know.
like the possibility that there is another Soren here. Unless we are the sword.
There can be only one. If you meet another one, take his head off. I saw that in the ancient Earth story. I'm sure it's fine. Just have you considered alcohol? Twitch.
Consider alcohol.
We have. We have deemed it not strong enough.
Fair. So yeah, this is like one of these like I'm walking around.
Oh yeah.
Is it supposed to look that way?
No, you too are getting the existential paranoia and dread.
Like I want to check space Wikipedia and like are all the facts the same? Did we end up in the one where the other guy's president?
Well, you're walking down a hall.
Fair.
I don't remember this all.
Yeah, well, I've never been here before, but yeah.
You've been here. This looks all normal. This is the guy you're looking for.
Okay.
That's Corey Good.
Or Carrie.
Good. And you get taken to a maintenance area, and there's just hundreds of people in here, all over the place. And there's a guy who comes up to you, and it's him. How you doing, Jack?
Good.
So I hear
Corey.
you. Corey. Oh my God! I hope your paperwork doesn't say Corey. That's gonna be a pain in the ass for me to deal with.
Oh yeah, we might have to get that fixed. Sorry.
I mean, I knew you were coming. I got
slip of the tongue.
I got the information from your source that we need to get this taken care of. So you have the material you need.
Yeah, absolutely. The material's all on board here. I'll transfer all the relevant documents.
Well, you need to get it off board.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
You don't wanna leave it on
we're
board, and I don't think you want anybody going on your ship, right?
no.
not really.
So why don't we go get that?
Okay, you'll need an
Oh.
evac suit. It's on the outside.
Yeah. I heard that you were put on on a pad. So what's wrong with your coupling?
It's a custom job, and
Might not have been
There's a
designed
universal coupling mechanism. Like,
well, we inherited this.
I think you need to fix that too, don't you think?
I hope you can help us.
Yeah, that might need
Else
to
you're
be,
gonna have to do this everywhere you go.
that might need to be retrofitted then.
Mm.
Also, well, you're gonna have a hard time registering the craft on a lot of your instrumentation.
We already got the code in. Craft is fine.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, you'll see.
We'll
We'll talk about it.
He starts walking out with you. He starts putting an EVA suit on. And, all right, you got your
Sees
suit.
that.
Yeah, right.
You just see him start laughing inside his EVA suit.
I like to ask him. Do you have how much? Can we add in a couple EVA suits into the bill here? Like I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe we can pad that a bit.
Our sources will be happy to include that minor expense relative to the cost of this.
I'll tell you what. I'll swap them out with you.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll talk about it. Not for now. I'll just wear my cardigan arms over it. Fine. floating around.
We refuse to dignify ourselves by tying
So who are your friends? We haven't met.
Oh yeah, this is Kelrin.
Yeah, Calrin. Yeah,
Calrin.
that's
Oh,
here.
Calrin.
With an A here.
Yeah, Calrin and Sauron and shoes and
Yeah. No, his boots is 2.0.
So
Yeah.
shoes would be like 54035.
There you go.
Totally good.
there you go.
There you go, boots. That's for you.
Jack, please, when we are able to fix everything, please put us back to where we belong.
What I want to know is if we and now I'm like doing this. I don't know if I can. I guess I could do the little message through an EVA suit. It doesn't. I don't. My hair ability or whatever. Like I want to know if we can go back to the other asteroid and like cash these in again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
We were
I don't know.
we were thinking that if we get repairs done here, do we get repairs done?
My reply to you is the minor changes are going to be okay, but when we hit a major one and they no longer recognize our whatever we present as currency at all, we're going to be in trouble. We need to have a more fungible source of exchange, like gold or osmium or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
If we really start slipping around, we're going to be in trouble.
well, yeah. I mean, things could get really different really quickly.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many jumps you have made? How many time slides?
I mean, do we do like one?
Yeah, just one, right? We just traveled here when Because before those, there weren't alternate options showing up on the map, right?
Correct.
Good. So we can theoretically return back to where we were.
I mean, Calren's like, I might need to spend some time doing some more mathematics.
Yeah, you really. Yeah.
Let us.
I know standard astrophysics.
Please, we beg you. We are very uncomfortable with this current situation.
I suddenly feel like a college student who's just figured out how to do calc, and then somebody's like, now do it in base 8. Right.
Please, both of you, look into this. We unfortunately cannot provide much aid here, but please know this is most distressing. We would prefer to be shot. We would prefer to be shot at and stabbed than experience this.
Calren also thinks this is awesome.
This is kind of cool, right?
The map is fantastic here.
And you get out there and you see him stop. That's a fucking beautiful ship.
Thank you.
You see why we like the
That's
custom
so cool.
job.
It is a very.
I've never seen one like that. Who manufactured that thing?
Custom job.
Yep.
All custom.
Bespoke,
What?
my friend.
We might need a little paint too. You'll see we had some dust ups.
Oh yeah. Do you want us to knock out these dents?
No, the dents stay.
That's the letters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
those all stay.
Keep the lights.
Yeah.
Those all stay just over top.
Yeah, be gentle, please.
Let's look at that coupling device. And you go underneath it and like, this isn't even remotely right.
That's what I was saying. You might want to retrofit something on top of it. I'd prefer not to alter the structure as much as we can avoid.
Is this ship an antique?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a custom antique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, before the standardizing?
Yeah.
Before they standardized the couplings?
How long back was that?
Probably 1,500 years.
Yeah, we think. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and are there ships that old that like might be getting scrapped?
Rarely, but
That's
occasionally.
unusual, right?
Really, really rare.
I would think that if they exist, they're either in private collector or
Correct.
or in a museum.
You're
somewhere.
flying a Wright Brothers plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a ballet.
We are flying
ballet
the
ship
stealth
or
version
something.
of the Wright Brothers
Right.
plane.
Yeah, right.
Huh. It is simultaneously old and busted and the new hotness.
And he has a machine and it like sends a scanning beam across like
This is what I was waiting for.
yeah, I can get something to fit that. It's gonna be a tight squeeze when you need to get out though.
It's okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when we're coming in and out of it.
Yeah.
As long as you don't damage the actual structure, we don't. It's like an antique.
Wow.
It's a museum piece. You can't scratch it up.
Wow. I've never seen anything like it. Let's get your material out.
Maybe just for the privilege of working on it, you can throw in those EVA seats for free.
So we'll open it up.
But let's keep this on the DL. There's some very aggressive museum collectors out there who might want to get their hands on it.
Yeah, no shit.
It'd be a shame.
So here's the osmium, the platinum.
Well, you have to go on the ship to get it.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah,
you stay here. We'll bring it down. Right.
Really?
Well, he's
All
going to have to get in, or
He doesn't have to get in.
what does he have
He
to
wanted
access?
to go in.
Yeah, I know. What does he have to access in order to get to that landing strut, though? Can he do that entirely externally?
Or the life support.
Private channel.
Probably not.
Private channel.
Yeah.
We do intend to go back to our universe, right?
If we can figure out how to get there.
Okay. We
Then
see no harm.
Who cares what this guy knows? He's in a different universe. I don't know if it's gonna work that way.
Is this universe's version stuck in our universe, wondering why they're dealing with Corey instead of Carrie?
Maybe.
I mean, that's just
What was
who
the
knows.
original name?
That's why I'm saying.
What was the original name? Was it
Oh my
Corey or
God.
Carrie?
Did we swap places
I met
with a
Corey
different crew
before.
just like us?
And Corey met Jack, and Carrie met Jack. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess.
Is it going to matter in the end?
If this is the only difference, if one vowel is the only difference between the two
Yeah.
universes,
It's
Probably
enough.
that's not it.
It's
No.
enough. Do you remember that one episode of the one episode where they were there and they find the perfect universe to live in? And the only difference is the Golden Gate Bridge is green. Do you remember that? It's horrible. It's not yours. Sliders.
All right, let's look at the landing gear. What happened
Show
with
them
that?
that.
Ooh.
Whatever we got to show
Ooh.
them.
it's been
Yeah, that's gonna take a little time to fix.
Yeah, there was an animator blowing up there.
Yeah, and we'll need that's the other big thing, right? The other
Yeah.
animator engine or the
He
anti-grav.
does a scan on that area. Like, Wow, this material is really weird. Okay.
Are the documents that were arranged?
Yeah.
Did they include things like some sort of
all the costs in getting it done?
But I mean, were there any sort of, I don't know, let's call them NDAs included or something in this information?
Discretion funds.
Yeah.
Well, we can pretty much just say
They're discreet.
Yeah, the Romanovs are financing this.
Yeah.
So let's
I'll make
keep it
mention
under
to
the
them
deal.
again.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to take me a few days to get some of this material for the repair on the outside. I mean, this is like, can't be that. Never mind. Oh, I got to run. I need to run some more checks. It looks like it's like bronze.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know that's weird.
Did they used to make ships out of bronze? How unusual.
Well, maybe it was, what is the old Earth phrase? It's bling?
And he makes a call. Bring me a ladder out here, or a cherry picker. And they get a vehicle comes out that has like a raising scaffold, and he gets on it. I need to go look at this a little closer because this is going to be a tricky thing, especially to do it and make sure it comes out, pristine. And he has a device that looks like a microscope that just attaches to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He starts looking at the edge where it's broken.
Yeah.
And he's like, this thing's layered in all kinds of ways. Hold on, I got to scan this again from the edge on. Okay. And he comes down and like, you should never let the ship get damaged. It's gonna be hard to get this fixed anywhere else. I mean, maybe at Silrain Prime you'd get it, but it's going to take me at least a couple of weeks to do the work here. So you're going to be here for a while. So I hope you enjoy the rock.
Well, I have some homework to do, let's say. So that's okay.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, I need to go make some inquiries. And you guys head in. And they take the material with you.
Right. And so he's aware now of everything that needs to get repaired, the life support, the engine, basically, and the physical structure of the ship.
Okay, great.
You get the materials, and you go in, and you see him take the material. He says, you can come with me. I want you to see where I'm going to be working on this. And there's a big room with no people in it at all. There's just him and machines, robotic machines that manufacture and melt and smelt and things like that. And but more importantly, it 3D prints most stuff out of whatever materials that it needs to use. But I'm going to need to get some more materials to be able to print the parts you need. While this is going on, I mean, it looks like you have, your everything covered. So enjoy your time. If you need to find me, I'll be here for the next few weeks for the most part, running this and keeping this on the quiet side.
Okay.
I'm going to try and keep all the people out of here so that there's no people involved. The robots are separated from the rest of the systems. It's where we do a lot of military stuff here, things like that. So it's quiet. There's nobody seeing what we're doing. So I guess I'll get in touch with you if I need you. I'd say come back in a few days. I should have the materials arriving by then. The things that I can start doing is that with the material you have, I can start building your antimatter chamber again, getting that prepped and sending that over to have the antimatter injected.
Well, once that, I assume you'll need access to the interior once that's ready, and let us know and we can provide that.
Right.
Until then.
Yeah, I won't need access for probably a week and a half or a week, probably a week.
Have Boots communicate that it's on lockdown again, right? So they'll be working on the exterior. That's fine, but it should.
Well, they do have to get into the crawl space.
Okay.
In the landing system,
So
which is how you first got in. How you first got in.
Yeah, maybe we can specify with the ship.
Yeah.
Like, don't let them get into the main body.
Right.
Do not begin purging the gases if anyone.
Yes, please don't. Don't kill the workers. Killing Carrie. I mean, we might have to go get Corey from the.
They're going to be in EVA suits anyway.
Yeah, fair.
So it's not unusual, or at least not unheard of, for ships to have onboard AI? Or is it?
It's pretty unusual for small ships too. Even big ships, pretty rare.
I'm still going to tell him.
The only ships that really do, that you know of, that almost always do, are exploration ships.
Okay. I'm going to tell him, this ship has a custom onboard AI, just so you know.
In a ship that old?
Well, let's just
Must
say
be
it's
like
a
a chess
virtual AI.
computer, huh?
But I just wanted to warn you. So we're specifying what sections of the ship should be accessed. It might react unpredictably if other access attempts were
Got
made.
it. Thanks for the warning. And he shows you from the scan a 3D model of the space that he needs to access. Just make sure that no one gets, that it doesn't do anything if anyone goes in there. And they're in all the right spots.
Okay, he didn't like make his own tour.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
No, it's just
All
from
right.
the outside. He said,
All right,
I need the
all right.
landing gear systems in here.
Okay.
Make sure that we're good there.
So how's the security around here, Carrie? Your personal
Out here
security?
or inside?
Oh, yours.
Oh.
This area.
Oh, nobody gets in here.
Yeah. We had
Good,
some computer robots were hacked not that long ago, so be careful. Right. I guess we'll go back down to the station and find something to do for a few weeks.
And for a few weeks, they work on the ship.
And
You know,
Kelvin is working on
Time
that.
runs. And you start putting together that the D is dimension. So this is not, it can shift dimensionally, apparently.
So it's like another axis that we're not normally used to navigating.
Correct. And that's what that other math is that overlays the other math, is dimension, not only time and space.
Your X, Y, Z, and D axes.
Right. And
I'm sure Soren would love to hear this.
it's super complicated, and even with the math, there's a lot of unpredictability in where you actually arrive, when you actually arrive, things like that. So any shift is considered a really risky maneuver, and it can be endangering to the ship too. But it can be done.
And so you say, when I'm studying this, I'm gonna, if the asking the computer helps, should I?
Well, make me you have, what are your sciences?
I have astrophysics, expertise in that. I also have advanced mathematics, astronomy, astrography, physics, navigation, and ship systems, and computer.
A ship systems check.
All right, that's good. 23.
The dimensional part will only work in the presence of an Esper. And interestingly, it will also only function if there is some Atorian DNA present.
So, okay, and we have Atorian DNA on the ship just because of the...
You have not seen an Atorian there. I mean, the body that was there is gone, and that any DNA there would have been missing, would be gone.
Okay, we'll have to ask the ship's computer where it's getting the... Well, wait a minute. Do we...
You're not on the ship right now.
Right, but looking at the data, does it look like we successfully executed one of these shifts or no?
You did.
Okay, so there's an Atorian DNA element on our ship somewhere, unless we've all been uplifted with Atorian DNA.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, man.
Oh, boy. This is... Okay.
Hey, cuz.
Yeah, right? Hey. So that's a possibility.
We went off this existential nightmare.
So Atorian DNA.
Soren just wants to go punch people again.
And
No. Soren is fine with punching people, but he wants to punch people in his own dimension.
He wants to
there you
punch-
go.
he doesn't want to punch people in other dimensions. So, if we've what you said is very dangerous, and also to the ship. Is it possible that like one of these shifts could have a bad side effect, like creating a giant black hole that consumes a galaxy, this sort of thing, or is that more like a
No.
weapon of war that probably did that or
No, it can cause damage to the ship if it's not done.
Structural and
Like if you end up halfway through and, you know, there's a lot of fuzziness to the map for dimensions, and you can end up not fully in a dimension.
Go across two of them or something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's no good. That's like that happened in. Yeah. Okay.
Get trapped in the dimension of giant centipedes.
Dun dun dun.
Slogan is not comfortable in this place.
All right.
And he brings you out after about a week, and you can see that the repairs on the landing gear are almost complete. It's like the paint is really weird. We're mixing that now. It's got some really weird properties to it. He goes, this ship is pretty amazing, just from what I can see. I think whatever you did to earn this ship, somebody got screwed out of it.
Yeah.
More likely you got screwed into it.
Yeah, that's what everybody says when they buy their first ship. It's their best and worst day of the rest of their lives.
Yeah, you should
they say that the best way to become a millionaire is to buy a ship as a billionaire.
Soren nervously chuckles at that. Yes. Yes.
If only we had a whole other universe to go collect resources to pay for things. Kelly laughs nervously. Yes. All right. So it looks like what he's doing though is on the up and up, right?
Yes.
All right.
And he goes, in probably 2 days, we're going to need to get in to do to install the antimatter chamber and do the life support upgrades, or not upgrades, repairs.
Okay. Well.
So I'll need one of you at least to be around. You need someone to be with us when we do the install.
I'll stay on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. I can work there.
I mean, I'll call you when I need you. You don't even need to stay on the ship now. But I just need to make sure you're available then.
Okay.
Just whenever we did travel, being the only, I guess Boots is an Esper too, but so Boots and I were the Espers present. Did we notice anything Espery?
Yeah, I'm an Esper.
No.
Well, look at this.
Oh, I guess
They're
Esper
all
means
Espers.
technically.
Okay.
Just because we can't shoot force bolts out our ass.
All right. I was thinking that meant magic user. No, we're all technically Espers. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
My bad.
I see where the
Yeah,
class
I know.
lines
They're
are.
right there. I don't need to use a sword. I shoot powers with my brain.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would I use my
There's
space magic and
there's-
flex on you?
Some of their practical Espers and
Yeah.
impractical Espers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about I use my space magic and cast fist?
So there you go. That's me being classist.
I actually thought the same thing for a long time
When-
before I read it.
Yeah, I know. I just forgot. That's right. We've all experienced Esper Genesis.
And then a few days later, you get the call from Carrie saying, "All right, we got the material ready. We need to get in and start doing the install."
I don't see why we all can't be present.
Yeah, sure. I don't
present,
think we have
sure.
anything else to do.
It's the one piece of our universe. I want to be as close to it. We want to be as close to it as possible.
Yeah, I'll just sit on the floor with my laptop or whatever,
And,
typing away.
Whenever you're ready, come on down. We need to move the material on the repaired devices,
All right, I'll go.
and you go on. And he has with him something that is sort of like a gibbon in a spacesuit.
Oh yeah, we'd heard about this, right?
Saw them in the original station.
Yeah, these monkeys.
And there's a couple robots that are bringing material. All right, let's get on board. He waits for you.
Yeah. Let's let him in. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see how we have a choice.
You open the hold.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that our car's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets in like, "Wow, that's cool," to the car. And
It's all
Barely 10,000 miles.
Yeah, that's right. Custom
per
job.
year.
Yeah.
Per light year.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't know.
And well, you need to show me where the life support system,
I'll take him there. I've looked at it before.
because I don't have schematics for a ship like this.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to find schematics for this ship. This really was custom.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck finding
It's one of a
schematics for
kind.
this.
It's one of a kind for sure.
All right, so I'll take him over to see.
Take them where it is. Make me a perception check.
Is he taping anything? Yeah, I'd want to scan him for that.
24 for me.
15.
7.
You see that in the hold, that room that you weren't able to access has a green light over it.
You'll excuse me
Oh,
for a minute. Should we wait?
One second.
Okay,
One second.
maybe.
Yeah, let's get him set.
Fair. Calvin doing this the whole time.
All right, so I'll show him to where he needs to be.
Okay.
Soren is too consumed by existential dread to be paying attention.
Yes.
True.
It could be existential enlightenment.
It could
They could
See,
be
there
very
you go.
well be one and the same.
Yeah.
So excuse me, I'm going to go pet my cactus hiding on.
Yeah. You're totally sitting in the flaming room saying this is fine, right?
It's fine.
Rocking.
We are
This is fine. I'll
we
be
are literally
okay.
as far from home as possible.
Oh, I think it can get weirder.
We have
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
More than just a
Yeah.
vowel difference. You know what I'm saying?
And he goes in and he starts working on replacing the damaged parts.
Okay.
And it takes him half a day probably to dismantle the old one, reinstall the new one, and then he has a machine with him that he says, all right, when I do this, we need to make sure that you're back far enough. This is I'm going to be injecting the antimatter,
Oh.
and things can go wrong. We hope they don't. I've never had it happen, but safety precautions.
Yeah, that makes station go boom. So
And well, it's not a whole lot. You don't need a ton.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
like
It's not like it's measured that way.
a couple molecules?
Yeah, it's a tiny amount, but it's enough to do real damage again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to redo all the repairs.
ouch. All right, well let's
So
step
you back up and the robots come and they put up shields that they then lock to the floor, and there's a tube that runs around to the machine that then moves over. It's sort of like those robots they use for finding bodies in a disaster. It moves really slow and it kind of connects, and then you can see there's something moving inside of it, and then there's a thing that goes wraps around that half of a globe, and then it's all right. You hear, all right, we're all good, and it backs out. That's all it is.
Well, that was very dramatic.
Very
There you go.
anticlimactic.
Good.
Which is exactly
I
how
like
you
that.
want
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Good.
He pulls it out.
Oh,
He,
where is the kaboom?
Earth-shattering.
he goes over and he checks the readings, connects up some of the tubes and the things that are required, and all right, you're all good here. So all the costs were covered. You already know that. I asked them about the EVA suits, and they told me that they'll add those. So I'm going to get you some new EVA suits.
Nice.
How many do you need? How many people are on your ship normally?
5.
Should do 5. Yeah.
5.
Okay.
We're gonna hold out hope.
All right. And it was really nice doing business with you.
Indeed, sir.
Your heads down.
Thanks, Gary.
You as well. Thank you.
Keeps us on the DL, as they say.
Yep. On the DL. If you want, you can now move around to the normal docking port if you're not heading out. So that part's been replaced. You can now dock normally. Not replaced. It's been retrofitted, right?
Well, I mean, there's no reason for us to stay, right? I mean,
Well, we do need to plan our next moves here.
but I mean, we could push off and float out in space and make that.
Probably a good idea to test the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's working. Run a
You would go on test drives.
Yeah.
And go back to our own universe.
Well, I've been working on
I
those
don't know about
calculations.
that.
Work faster.
work faster.
We have an irrational fear of dying here.
You let me know if I can make those calculations or not, because I have no idea.
And you get in the ship and the universe wraps around you again, and you get reconnected, and the cables that were holding you down, you hear them and pull away, and you're able to, and you're told you're cleared for takeoff.
All right. Taking
Which
us
it
in.
really didn't even matter. You started floating away a little bit the moment they took the cables off anyway. You're gonna take off now.
Okay.
And it feels nice. The anti-gravity seems to be working well, pushing away from this easily without using thrusters and all the good stuff.
Recycled.
Computer, how's everything seem?
Everything seems to be connected correctly.
Excellent.
Life support is running at maximum. Wonderful. Everything is working great.
Excellent.
And then there's like a cold that like chills the air for a moment. And then you see like cold condensation rippling along the walls. And then you all hear something say, finally.
Oh.
But you're not sure where from. And this is where we'll break.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
They hit end.
Huh? Yeah, hit end. Thank you.